The smell of hot dogs and hamburgers are in the air, and it is almost time for baseball from White House Field. As it is first responders night here at White House Field. We have a giant American flag hanging over towards the Mariners dugout area, but the Mariners will have to take the field anyway and take on the Chatham Anglers, as it is game 4 between both these teams. Game number 30 for the Harwich Mariners, and so far they're 0-3 against the Anglers, looking to pick up their first win this evening. I'm Thomas Enzarella, alongside my broadcasting partner, Austin Rooney. And so far, the Mariners have just been unable to beat the Chatham Anglers, going back to their first game in Chatham with a 5-1 win for the Anglers. And then right back here at White House, 13-6, back on July 3rd. And then more recently, July 7th, Chatham defeated Harwich by a score of 9-6. What's been going wrong for the Mariners, and why they just can't beat the Chatham Anglers?
Yeah, they've had a tough time, especially with allowing a large number of runs in many of these games. And looking to turn that around with Ty Buckner tonight. Buckner has a really low ERA, just 1.44. And he's done better recently in terms of not allowing all that many walks. So we'll have to see if he can shut down these Anglers' bats.
And you mentioned Ty Buckner. Ty Buckner will take the mound for the Harwich Mariners, and for the Chatham Anglers, it'll be Alec Manoah. What does each starter have to do to give their team a victory today?
Well, Alec Manoah has been sort of all over the place this season. So just to give you an example, his last 2 starts portray this perfectly. Versus Katuitt on July 1st, he pitched 4 innings, allowed no hits, walked 1 batter, struck out 6. His next time out at YD, 3.1 innings, 6 earned, 3 hits, 3 walks. So again, he's had a tale of 2 starts here, and that's sort of been the way his season has been. He's had some starts where he's done really well and other starts where he has really found himself in a lot of trouble.
So Manoah looks to change things around here in White House Field. As yesterday, the Mariners fell right back here in extra innings, 2-1 to the Brewster Whitecaps. What were your thoughts on yesterday's game for the Whitecaps?
Well, for the Harwich Mariners, it was a game where they got a lot of really good pitching. Ricky DeVito started yesterday's game. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 1 run, none earned. And then Tom Sutera came in the 7th inning, pitched the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and now into the 11th. And in those 4 1/3 innings of work, he looked outstanding. It was one of the best relief appearances we've seen all year. Only problem is he's going to get the loss because the Mariners' bats never came alive. With runners in scoring position, they were nearly non-existent. They had just 1 hit with runners in scoring position. That was a double off the bat of Tanner Morris back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. It was an automatic double as it bounced over the wall, and it scored 1. If that ball didn't go over the wall, maybe we have a different story. Maybe the Mariners were able to score a runner from first base on that play, and we're talking about a Mariners win. But it didn't happen, and the Mariners fell in extra innings.
And the Mariners left 9 on yesterday, including they left 5 on in the first 2 innings and 2 more back in the 4th. So in the first 4 innings alone, they left 7 guys on, and then I think it was just the pitching from Hennessy and Criswell that really did the Mariners in. As the bullpen for Brewster was outstanding. Their defense was even better. Cameron Eaton at second base made some tough plays over there, and he was just a totally different guy. He's played shortstop the last couple games, and that Brewster defense is probably one of the reasons why they won yesterday's game. A team that's has made the most errors in the league and given the most unearned runs was totally different. It was a whole new defense for the Whitecaps yesterday. But it's a new day today, and the Harwich Mariners have another opportunity to win a game, and that's the best thing about part of baseball, as they will take on the Chatham Anglers here for the 4th time this season. So we'll step aside just for a second as the first pitch and the national anthem are about to be sung.
and face the flag over the third base side as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be sung by Harwich resident Rebecca Riley. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All of the Harwich Fire and Police and their
Ready.
families who have joined us at this afternoon's game.
And welcome back inside White House Field as the pregame festivities are about to wrap up here, as we are honoring our both fire and police department here in Harwich, Massachusetts. As throwing out the first pitch was the fire chief and then one of the police sergeants here in Harwich. And it's always great to see honoring our people that do our daily work that not many people would choose to do, and we thank them for their service. And now warming up the mound is Ty Buckner out of Missouri State for the Harwich Mariners. But first, we'll start out with the Harwich Mariners defense this evening.
Yeah, playing left field is Nate Eichhoff, and center is Chris Gallen. Right field, Ben Norman. From left to right in the infield, Aaron Shunk at third, Tanner Morris at short, Danny Casals at second, Andre Lipsius playing first base. And doing the catching for Ty Buckner is Brad Debo.
And starting things off for the Chattanoogas in their lineup is the center fielder John Ray. Batting second is the shortstop out of UNC Wilmington, Greg Jones. Batting third is the second baseman out of UNC, Michael Bush. The right fielder Blake Sable in the cleanup spot. Batting fifth is the first baseman Tristan Inglis. In the sixth hole is the designator this evening, Drew Mendoza. Batting seventh is Colin Simpson. In the eighth spot is the left fielder Ashton McGee, and rounding out the bottom is the third baseman out of Stetson, Jorge Arenas.
And as you see on the screen, we have the new pitcher for the Harwich Mariners. The starter for tonight's game is Ty Buckner. Now, Ty Buckner has had 4 starts so far on Cape Cod. He's pitched much better as of late, especially in that walks department. Over his first 8 2/3 innings of work, he allowed 7 walks, but over the last 10 innings, just 2. So he's done well in that department. His last outing versus Cotuit, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 1 walk. And not only that, I think that as he's gone along in the season, he's done even better. He's only allowed a maximum of 1 run in each start.
Yeah, no, he's done exceptional his last 2 starts alone, and you know, he is 1-2 on the season, but his ERA is just around the 1.5 mark, and then he's only walked 1 batter those last 2 times out, so he's done a great job with his control, better than was at the beginning of the season, so we see him grow as a pitcher right back here on the Cape Cod. And so now digging in for the Chatham Anglers is the center fielder, John Rave. From the left side, righty-lefty matchup. From the windup. First pitch misses just a bit low inside for ball, and we're underway from White House Field. Mariners look to get back on track here. Have only won 2 of their last 7 games. One will pitch it.
He had a 6-game hit streak earlier in the season, and now a 7-game hit streak. One of the highest averages on this team at 333.
As the 1-1 pitch is swung on and lifted up and out of play over the screen on the first base side. Count is 1-2 on Rave. So last time these 2 teams played was in Chatham, 9-6 victory for the Anglers as the 1-2 pitch misses up and in for a ball. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on the speedy center fielder. Well, Rave did not have a hit in that game. It was a 2-2 pitch fastball upstairs, and he goes down swinging as Buckner starts the game off with a punch out to leadoff man John Rave, and there is 1 out here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, good to see Buckner having strong control right off the start of this game. Going out and attacking John Rave and getting the strikeout to lead things off.
So now it is the switch hitting shortstop this evening, Greg Jones. We've seen him play center field before as well. As first pitch is in at the knees off. He pitched by Buckner for strike 1. Chatham's been dealing with a ton of injuries lately. And that's why we're not seeing a lot of guys that would normally play. Brandon Fryman come down with sickness and illness as the 0-1 pitch is at the letters for a strike. Count is 0-2. And Greg Jones, actually, this is his first game back since these last 2 teams played back on July 7th. Remember, Greg Jones exited the game after sliding into home plate with a hand injury, and he's been out ever since. As the 0-2 pitch runs upstairs for ball 1. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes on the shortstop. Buckner gets his side. The 1-2 pitch, just getting a piece of it was Jones as it gets past the catcher, Debo. So 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the first. Nothing ball game. For those of you just field, what's been a spin lifted out towards left field, and it will drop right in front of Nate Eichhoff. He plays on a hop, and just like that, the Anglers have a man on here in the top of the first with 1 out. And it is Greg Jones who puts one out towards left field, and it dropped in for a base hit.
Yeah, Greg Jones continues his strong hitting versus Harwich this season. He's now 5 for 8 against the Harwich Mariners pitching staff.
So Jones has found a way to get on base, and now digging in is the second baseman, Michael Bush, who, because of all the injuries, has been moved over to second base, but he's more of a first baseman back at UNC, but did play a little shortstop back in his high school day. So with 1 out, Jones is off at first. Buckner works from the stretch for the first time this evening as the first pitch bounces in to the mid of Brad Debo for ball 1.
And Bush in his first game here in Harwich, or on Cape Cod, was here in Harwich, and he hit a home run. That was as part of a big win for the Chatham Anglers over the Harwich Mariners, 9-6.
1-0 pitch. Just misses a bit high for ball 2. And that was the offense explosion that Chatham had right back here. The Fox Sports game as well. And that's when the Mariners led 5-2 at one point. And then the Anglers just took right off with their bats as a 2-0 to Bush. Misses low below the knees for a ball count, runs to 3-0 now.
Yeah, the big 6-run inning included the home run by Bush and a grand slam by Tristan English. Bush in the middle of a 4-game hit streak. He He's 6 for 15 during that streak.
Counters 3 balls and no strikes. A little delay there. I wonder if the back part of the left-hander batter's box is gone. I don't know if it was even there. They might have just forgot to do it, and that's what they may be arguing about. As the 3-0 pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1 to Bush. Especially here on the Caper, most guys throw their fastballs in the 90s, even up into the mid and upper 90s. You know, that extra foot or two you can get in the back of the box can make a big difference as a 3-1 pitch, and runners going as the pitch is lined out towards right field. Catching it is Ben Norman. He'll throw back to first. And scoop job over by Lipsius, and they'll get him. So a double play on a hit and run. Shot out to Ben Norman, throws a strong throw and able to double up Greg Jones over at first base. So that's how the top half of the first inning ends. Still 0-0 ball game. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry College prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development online at www.curry.edu.
And welcome back inside the broadcast booth from White House Field. So a scoreless ball game after the top of the first. That's a nice double play to end the top half of the first inning. And here in the bottom half of that inning, it is Alec Manoah taking them out for the Chatham Anglers. Manoah so far has kind of had a similar track history to Ty Buckner. Both of them have a 1-2 record on the season, and Manoah's ERA just a little bit higher, 3.3. So starting things off is the shortstop Tanner Morris. Then batting second, Chris Gallen, the center fielder. Batting third is Aaron Shunk. In the cleanup spot is Andre Lipsius, the first baseman. Batting fifth is Danny Casals. In the sixth spot is Ben Norman, the right fielder. Batting seventh is the catcher, Brad Debo. Batting eighth is the designated hitter this evening, Logan Driscoll. And rounding at the bottom is the left fielder, Nate Eichhoff. So right-lefty matchup. Manoah working from the stretch to start things off. First pitch fastball is at the belly, inside half the plate for strike 1 to Tanner Morris, the shortstop, who's been red hot as of late.
Well, not only as of late, he's been red hot the whole season. He's reached base in all 22 games he's played.
0-1 pitch runs upstairs for ball 1. Count evens back up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
In 20 of the 22 games, he reached via a hit. The other two, once he was hit by a pitch, the other, he reached on a walk.
1-1 pitch runs just a bit low and inside for ball 2. Count is 2-1. On the shortstop out of Virginia. Morris currently right now is 5th in the league in average with a .333. He's tied with John Ray for Chatham. So both those guys been really hitting well for their respective teams. As a 2-1 pitch is a wave and a miss by Morris. Count is 2 ball and 2 strikes now. So nobody on. Two-two pitch. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Morris knew it. He goes down looking. Good start for Manoah, and that's exactly how Buckner started off his evening with a punch out as well. So
looked like maybe a changeup from Manoah. Pitch right down the middle, and Morris started walking back to the dugout before the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, even made his call. As we take a look around the diamond for the umpires tonight, Rick Emerson behind the plate, Mark Delaney over at first, and Mike Rabideau at the third base umpire.
So with one out here in the bottom of the first, nobody on as the first pitch to Chris Gowan. Slider just misses low and outside for ball one. On the center fielder this evening, Chris Gowan, who's in this two-spot once more. Went 2 for 3 yesterday. Collected a hit by pitch and a walk as well on the loss to Brewster. As the 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play over across the first base bleacher side. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Gowan now. Chapman's defense playing back on the grass primarily. As the 1-1 pitch to Gowan swung on and lined over towards the ground, over towards second base. Bush scoops up on a 2-hopper, throw on a first, and Gowan is retired for out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. So we've seen guys maybe want to attack Manoa. Fastball can get into the low to mid 90s. Trying to get in those fastball counts, especially. That's what we've seen the last couple games where the opposition's pitch count will be very low early, and that's because the Mariners here's trying to maybe hit those fastballs early in the count, and that's why for Manoa you got to try to switch things up. First pitch to Aaron Shunk runs up and inside as he backs out for ball 1.
There are a number of players who will oftentimes take that first pitch and say, you know, like, let's make him throw a strike. And there's some guys who will do that, and there are other guys who are attacking first pitch. They think, I want to see a fastball. I think I'm going to see a fastball, and they swing right away.
1-0 curveball is in at the knees on the outer half of the plate for strike 1. Can't even back up at 1 ball and 1 strike. I know Nate Eichhoff's a big guy, likes to attack here on the can, and Tanner Morris as well, except when you lead off spot first batter of the game, or first batter of that inning, you might want to take a few pitches as the 1-1 pitch. Fastballs on the outside corner for strike 2.
I talked to Tanner Morris actually as part of our Mariners Monday series. The interview will be released on Monday, and he told me that, you know, even as a leadoff hitter, it's not that much different for him as opposed to hitting in the 6, 7, or 8 spots, which is where he originally hit at UVA.
As the 1-2 pitches popped up and out of play behind the press box area.
And not only that, he says that he looks at it the same way. He has the same mentality going up to the plate.
Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Shunk. 2 outs here, nobody on the bottom of the first. Manoa comes set. From the stretch, the 1-2 to Shunk. Pitch is swung on and popped up over on the left side. And give a look as the catcher, Simpson, but it will find the seats over on the bleacher side. Went exactly in the bleachers. You don't see many balls around here that will go directly into the bleachers at White House Field.
Oftentimes they're fouled off behind the press box over towards the coach's lot. Not a lot exactly directly into those bleachers.
So 1-2 is the count on Shunk. Still searching for the first base runner for the Mariners this evening as the 1-2 to Shunk. Pitch misses down and in for ball 2. County was back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes on the third baseman out of Georgia. Shunk this year has a .323 average with 13 RBIs. As he waits the 2-2 pitch. That's a fastball. Shunk a little late on, just tries to foul it off and does so as it is fouled off towards the trees on the first base side as they'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now it can be a guessing game as Manoa comes back with the fastball after throwing a couple curveballs. We'll see what he goes with here. The 2-2 pitch, curveball check, swing by Shunk, pitch in the dirt, but he did not go around, says the first base umpire, Mark Delaney. So count now runs full, and again, this is another great at-bat for a Mariner hitter. This is Aaron Shunk, who's I was seeing 8 pitches at the plate. Also see pitch number 9 here. As the payoff pitch to Shunk is swung on and hit high in the air towards the left field side, but it will find the bleachers down there, or the hill down there.
Yeah, that was a very hard hit ball off the bat of Aaron Shunk. Originally, I thought that ball had a shot at getting out of here, but it tailed foul.
And just a bit early was Shunk, and That's what you can do sometimes when you really make a pitcher work, you can leave one over the plate or he's going to miss out of the zone. It's a 3-2 pitch to Shunk once more. Curveball just getting a piece was Shunk. The ball had a lot of spin to it too, and it almost looks like it could have spun back, you know. Just fouled it just out of the home plate area, and they'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So this will be pitch number 11 in this at-bat. Manoah shakes off his catcher, Simpson. Gets his sign, now comes set. The 3-2 pitch is swung on a line drive over towards shortstop. One hopped over to Jones. He feels on the backhand throw across the diamond, and Shunk is retired for out number 3. But a well-worked at-bat for Aaron Shunk, even though it did not result in a hit or reaching base. But the Mariners do go down in order 1, 2, 3, and after one is a scoreless ball game still between the Harwich Mariners and the Chatham Anglers. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And we'll go back inside White House Field for the top half of the second inning between the Chatham Anglers and the Harwich Mariners. 0-0 ball game so far. Lone hit was for the Chatham Anglers in the top of the first from Greg Jones. And the PA announcer just announcing the All-Stars this year for both sides. And the Harwich Mariners having a few of themselves, 5 of them actually.
Well, that's right. 3 infielders for the Harwich Mariners. Tanner Morris is over at short tonight. Andre Lipsius is over at first. Aaron Shunk, who's playing third base. Those are the 3 fielders or hitters who are going to be in the All-Star game for the Mariners. And then a couple of relievers, as we saw last night. Tom Sutera, he'll be in the All-Star game. And then Andrew Miziazik, who has been the closer for the Mariners this season, who we also saw last night.
One pitch to Blake Sable, hit deep over towards right field. Norman going back to the track, and it is out of here. Blake Sable sends one over the fence in right field. And just like that, the Chatham Anglers put a 1 spot on the board here in the top of the second as they now lead the Harwich Mariners by a score of 1-0. And Sable has been the Angler killer the Harwich Mariner killer this whole season.
Yeah, 6 home run for Sable this season. That now leads the Chatham Angler. He passes somebody who only played in 12 games. That was Torkelson, who is outstanding. So now in sole possession of first place is Blake Sable. And you mentioned he's been very good against the Mariners. He has hits in each one of the contests.
So now the first baseman, Tristan English, takes a big swing and a miss at the first pitch. And again, for back-to-back games now, the Mariners fall behind as Brewster scored the first run yesterday. And now again today, the opposition scores the first run as the 0-1 pitch to English runs outside for a ball 1. Kenneman's back up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And could be key is just trying to play with the lead, and that's always important as a pitcher. If you're down all the time or you're up, as the 1-1 curveball, big swing and a miss by English. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Really good-looking curveball that time from Buckner. Totally fooled English. A lot of break on that pitch. Started up right around the knees, maybe in the thigh area. Ends up down by the ankles. English swings right over it.
1-2 pitch to English. Curveball just getting a piece this time was English as he fouls it back to the backstop, and Ledugan at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So nobody on, nobody out here after the home run from Blake Sable to start things off. He homered last night as well in the win over Orleans. So back-to-back games now he has hit a home run. As you mentioned before, he now leads the Cape League in home runs. As the 1-2 pitch, cut on and missed. English goes down, swinging a fastball. That was elevated up in the zone. And that is the first out here in the top half of the second inning. Make that strikeout number 2 for Buckner so far. Just the one long ball
Number 36
was the damage. So with one out here and no beyond base in the top of the second, it is the DH this evening, Drew Mendoza.
And we mentioned, of course, not only is he at the top of Chatham's list in terms of home runs, he leads the league, all the Cape League in home runs. Interestingly enough, 2 of the top hitters, of course, back at college, Torkelson and Vaughn. Torkelson led all of college baseball this year with 25 home runs. Vaughn had 23. Now, they both left Cape Cod 3 weeks ago now, and they are still tied for second in home runs on Cape Cod.
As the 1-0 pitch is fouled back over the press box there, County is back up in 1 ball and 1 strike.
Torkelson had 5 home runs and 36 at-bats. That was over 12 games. And Vaughn, 5 home runs over 14 games, 52 at-bats.
The 1-1 pitch runs outside for ball 2. Count of 2 balls and 1 strike on the DH. Righty-lefty matchup. The 2-1 pitch to Mendoza. Swung on and missed. A pitch up in the zone, and Mendoza couldn't quite catch up with that one.
Yeah, really nice fastball up and out of the zone from Buckner.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count on Mendoza. Buckner gets his side. He works from the windup. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and a bloop over the shortstop head of Tanner Morris. And he'll drop in for a base hit. As Mendoza rounds first base, will take a turn and fielded by Eichhoff. He throws it back in quickly. So with 1 out here, Mendoza finds himself on first base with a bloop single over the shortstop, Tanner Morris.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lucky hit. Nice piece of hitting, though. Was just over the head of Morris. Solid piece of contact from Mendoza, but just placed exactly in the right spot, and therefore a base hit.
So with 1 out now, it is the catcher, Colin Simpson. He will step in from the left-handed batter's box. As going on the first pitch is Mendoza, and Simpson swinging the first pitch, lines into center field, and holding up at second is Mendoza as a quick throw in from Chris Gallen is able to halt him there at second base. So they'll go station to station baseball now with 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Already 1-1 across on the home run from Blake Sable. And now back-to-back singles for Mendoza, and Colin Simpson now extends his 4-game hit streak to now 5.
Yeah, Colin Simpson is hitting the ball really well right now. Simpson was someone who has struggled on the Cape mightily to start off this season. But he's, again, 5-game hit streak, and he's now 6 for his last 11 at the plate.
So now with 2 men on and 1 out is the left-hander Ash McGee. First pitch curveball is right down the middle. Athens for strike 1. McGee playing left field this evening. He's only hitting 117 coming in. Change things here. So looking for his first RBI as well as he came from UNC. 1 pitch. This is the outside black for ball 1. Count as 1-1. Obviously, UNC came in a little bit later than everybody else, just like Tyler Baum. Caught up in the College World Series. Played in Omaha. See, 1-1 pitch to McGee. Off-speed pitch once more. It's in there for a strike. As the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes on McGee.
I think a lot of players would trade Cape Cod for playing in Omaha. It's no greater honor than to be able to play in the College World Series.
So 1-2 the count on McGee. Buckner comes set. Runs on first and second with 1 out. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball, big swing and a miss. Able to bury that curveball down in the dirt, and a nice job by Diebel to hold on. So make that 2 strikeouts in this inning, and that's how both outs have been recorded. Here with 2 strikeouts, that's 3 now on the evening for Ty Buckner. But the Anglers do hold the lead by a score of 1-0. Already have 4 hits in this game, including the 1 long ball from Blake Sable. As now is the 9-hole hitter Jorge Arenas out of Stetson playing third base this evening as he taps his blue Chatham Angler bat on home plate. Nice little color combination going on there as the first pitch runs outside by Brad Debo as they thought about throwing down a first base just to make sure he's got too big of a secondary over there. Colin Simpson. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play over the first base side. Canada's now 1 ball and 1 strike on Arenas. Arenas did not play the last time these two teams faced each other, but did play back here on July 3rd. Collected a couple base hits, including a sac fly, 2 singles and a sac fly. 1-1 pitch runs up and out of the zone for ball 2. Canada's 2 balls and 1 strike on Arenas. Well, obviously, Stetson's known more for their pitching than really their hitting. Well, obviously, Stetson they led the NCAA this year in ERA. And that's what can happen when you have a couple first rounders on your rotation as a 2-1 pitch misses again inside for ball 3.
Austin Wood from Harwich played at Stetson this past season.
We saw Wood pitch just a few games back in Brewster. Picked up the no decision. Logan Gilbert was just selected in the first round. He played on the Cape League 2 summers ago. Or played last summer, actually, for Orleans. Was somewhere in the first round, in the middle, I think. He went to the Mariners. I remember that. As time is called by Arenas, and he'll take a practice swing, and we'll step back into the back end of the right-handed side. Swings back a couple times towards Buckner. Buckner comes set. Runs on first and second with 2 outs. The 3-1 pitch. Crowball runs inside for ball 4, and he'll take his base over at first. So the bases are now loaded for the Chatham Anglers.
Logan Gilbert, as you mentioned, picked 14th overall by the Seattle Mariners. There were 3 Harwich Mariners players who were drafted out of the first 9 picks. Joey Bart going 2nd overall, Jonathan India going 5th overall, and then Kyler Murray going 9th overall in the MLB draft.
And now the first 5 picks in the draft, 4 of them played on the Cape League, and the only one that was Nick Madrigal, and he was supposed to be heading here one of his summers, but ended up not coming. So bases loaded, 2 outs now as leadoff man John Rave takes a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for strike 1, and Rave himself on that 7-game history struck out back in the first inning. He tries to extend it here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, big spot for Rave. He wants to collect a pair of RBIs as the 0-1 pitch is chopped over towards the first base area, but it's foul towards the coach's box. As Andre Lipsch is able to field it. So Canada's now 0-2 on Rave. Rave out of Illinois State in the Missouri Valley Conference. So Wichita State used to play there. I know basketball, they're in the American Athletic now, and obviously their baseball program moved there as well. 0-2 pitch to Rave. Curveball runs inside and hits him. As he's irate about it, he tosses the bat in the elbow guard as well. And it's now the Chatham run is able to come in as Mendoza comes in to score for the 2nd run this evening, and the 2nd run in this inning alone.
That is the first time this year that Ty Buckner has allowed more than 1 earned run in a start. In 3 of his 4 starts, he allowed 1 earned run, and the other one he allowed none.
So the catcher, Brad Debo, goes out to talk to Buckner. We've seen him work into some trouble before, but he's done a great job working out of it. Runner back here in one of his, I think, his 2nd start against Bourne, where he had the bases loaded in the first inning, including a pair of walks, and able to work his way out of it without yielding a run. But there are 2 runs across so far for the Anglers here in the top of the 2nd. 2-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners with 2 outs, bases loaded for the Anglers. Greg Jones, switch hitter, steps to the left side. Pitch gets away from Brad Debo coming home. is Simpson. Will come in standing up, and the runners are advancing another 90 feet as the Anglers plate their third run of the evening.
Goes down as a wild pitch against Buckner. And that, again, causes another Chatham Anglers run to score as they pick up 3 runs now in the top of the second inning, and they still have 2 more in scoring position as they look to extend this lead.
It's been the big inning so far for Chatham. Each and every single game, they've had one big inning where they scored a majority of their runs. As looking back to last game, or 2 games ago, right back here, 6 run 6 set things apart as the 1-0 pitch is swung on a high pop-up over towards left center field. As Chris Gallen calls off Eichhoff, the left fielder, makes the catch for out number 3. But the Chatham Anglers is able to put a 3 spot on the board here in the top of the second. And thanks to Blake Sable's solo shot and then a wild pitch and also the hit by pitch. So a couple free passes going on there for the Anglers. Not really hit that scored the runs. But after 1.5 is the Chatham Anglers 3 and the Harwich Mariners nothing. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside White House Field for the bottom half of the second inning. Lipsius, Casals, Norman set to do things for the Mariners here in the home half of the second inning. 3-0 Anglers lead over the Mariners so far. And it was really the big solo shot for Blake Sable. His 6th on the year was able to get things started for the Anglers. As Lipsius swings on, a first pitch is flying out towards center field. Straightaway center Ray moves over a couple steps to his left and he will make the catch for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Manoa as Lipsius is retired with a fly out to center field.
Number 18, the second baseman from the University of Maine.
So now with 1 out,
Casals.
it is the second baseman, Danny Casals. Restraps his bed gloves, has a leg guard on the front left leg, taps zone plate. So has to do work against Alec Manoa, the right-hander, righty-righty matchup. First pitch fastball, Jess runs a bit high and tight for ball 1. So far, Manoa is able to work a 1-2-3 inning first inning, including 1 punch out. As the 1-0 pitch to Casals. Slider misses down below the knees for ball 2. 2-0 the count on Casals. 1 out, nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. 3-0 Anglers lead. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss by Casals. Was looking to do some damage there. Count is now 2 balls and 1 strike on Casals.
Casals leading all of Cape Cod in doubles with 9.
2-1 pitches rolled over down towards the third base side as it gets past Coach Pasquarose on the third base coach's box. Count is 2-2 now on Casals. Casals is a double machine. He's a walk machine as well.
This year, Casals has 18 hits. 12 of them have been for extra bases. That's 9 walks, 1 triple, 2 homers.
2-2 pitches swung on a miss, and Casals goes down on strikes for out number 2. So Now back-to-back innings, Manoa has recorded a punch-out as number 2 on the evening. And now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, nobody on, it is the right fielder Ben Norman who watched that ball go over the fence in right field. He gave chase to it and then last second ran out of room.
Maybe some of the deeper parks in this league that may be in play, but it's going to be a home run at most places.
First pitch left-hander Norman is swung on, a pitch rolled on the ground towards the bullpen area on the Chatham side. First strike one. Well, it should be an interesting home run derby contest. Spencer Torkelson will be featured in it out of Chatham. He's not here yet, still at Team USA, but he's coming back, and it's going to be an interesting home run derby contest because it's not really, it's a really fair one. You know, 400 in center and then 330 on the lines. It's going to be quite tough at some points as the 0-1 pitch is wave and miss by Ben Norman. Count is 0-2.
That's right. It's not like they're playing in YD. In YD, those numbers are going to be highly inflated because out in center field it's about 355 feet. Down the lines it's still about 335, so it's not particularly shallow at the corners, but in center field it is very, very shallow.
0-2 pitch runs well up the zone for ball one as the catcher Simpson couldn't quite squeeze it. A little bit of extra mustard on that one. So count as 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Norman.
You'd have to think Torkelson's the favorite to win that too.
The 1-2 from Noah. Slider just misses off the outside corner. Good frame job by Simpson, but doesn't get the call by home plate up by Rick Emerson. So count as 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. 3-0 Anglers lead over the Mariners, in which they scored 3 runs in the top half of this inning. The 2-2 pitch, Norman pitch runs upstairs above the letters for ball 3. Count runs full now on the right fielder. Norman did not record a hit yesterday, but can change things here. His average has dipped down below the 200 level now, 197. The 3-2 offering. Norman swings at a pitch that is skied out towards left center field. Ray ranging over to his right and will make the catch for out number 3. So Manoa is able to work another 1-2-3 inning, another strikeout for Manoa. Make that 2 on the evening, and after 2, it is the Chatham Anglers 3 and the Harwich Mariners nothing. Listen to Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field for the top half of the 3rd inning, in which the Anglers looking to tack on maybe a few more after a 3-run 3rd inning.
And only one of those runs came in via a hit. It was a home run from Blake Sable. The other 2 runs, one came in from a hit batsman, the other from a wild pitch.
First pitch curveball to Michael Bush. Jessup, this is the outside corner for ball 1. Count us 1-0 on Bush. Bush lined one out towards right field his last time out, where it resulted in a double play as Greg Jones was thrown out as the 1-0 pitch misses again outside. The count is 2-0. Buckner from the lineup, the 2-0. But just swung and popped up in the air over towards the Mariners side, but it gets out of play for strike one. Nobody out here in the top of the third. For the Anglers, looking to improve to 4-0 against the Mariners this season, and it's a big matchup for both teams. 2-1 fastball just runs up and out of the zone for ball 3. As it is a very tight race right now for the number 2 and 3 spot in these standings. Only 2 points separated, 3 points, excuse me, as the 3-1 pitch is laced out towards right center field. Gallen moves over, stops, and will make the grab out there in right center. And we've seen Gallen make a nice couple plays out like that, able to keep guys off base with his speed.
Yeah, we always talk about his speed on the base paths and his ability to steal bases because, well, he set the record for the single season steals at Boston College as just a freshman. So there's a reason why we talk about his speed. But again, I think his defense gets overlooked, and it's really, really good because his speed allows him to cover so much ground out in center field.
So Blake Sable now with 1 out. He had the big home run last inning, takes a first pitch outside for ball 1.
And you were mentioning the standings. So the standings in the Cape Cod Baseball League will stay in the East Division, which is where the Harwich Mariners are.
1-0 pitch runs upstairs for ball 2 as the catcher Brad Debo goes out to talk to his pitcher Ty Buckner now.
So in first place in the East Division are the YD Red Sox. They have 36 points, have a 16-8-4 record. And then in second place, Chatham with 30 points, so they're 6 points behind YD. And then in third place, the Harwich Mariners, 13-15-1, 27 points this season. And they lead Orleans by 6. Orleans at 10-17-1. And, you know, there's a pretty good chance that these two teams end up playing each other in the first round.
2-0 pitch is out of the zone, but a big swing and a miss by Sable. Count as 2 balls and 1 strike. And that's exactly right. We might be seeing these teams more likely, and that's why if your coach Senko maybe get a couple wins against them and don't want to go in, you know, 0 for 6 or 1-5 against Chatham and
make for quite the story. You know, don't get a win against them in the regular season, come back in the playoffs, sweep them.
Anything can happen in the postseason. The count is now 3-1 on Sable. And Brewster as well. They've won 3 of their last 4, only 4 points behind. Orleans is a 3-1 pitch is shot in between the gap, in between the hole between first and second, and Sable's off for the second time this evening. That's his second hit he's collected. And that is a 1-out single here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, second hit in as many innings by Sable. Another strong piece of contact. He drills it into right field for a base hit.
So with 1 out is Tristan English, who struck out his first time out. Looking to do something else here as he digs in from the right side, digs his back foot in right towards the back end of that box.
And you mentioned the Brewster Whitecaps in last place in the East Division. The 4th spot is very important. It's possibly the most important spot in either division.
As English just have been out in front of that first pitch curveball and laces it foul towards the left side, and
that's because
still a lot of baseball to play too.
Yeah, the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs, so 8 out of 10 teams. Brewster in last, they are 7-19-3, 17 points. Mariners ahead of them by 10, so they have a very healthy lead, and only 15 games remain in the regular season. So they have to keep a 10-point lead over 15 games. And generally, statistically, it looks very, very good for the Harwich Mariners, but you never know.
English looks like he broke his bat and had to get go and get a new one as the count is 0-1 on English. Buckner works from the stretch here, runner on first. After Sable's 1-out single, Buckner will check on him over at first. He throws back, but diving back in safely is Sable. And the Anglers as well, they've won 4 of their last 5. As the 0-1 pitch is a high pop-up on the right side of the foul ground area. Lipsius giving a look. And Lipsius calls Debo off right at the last second as both of them almost went forward. So in the last couple games, there have been very close calls and pop-ups and fly balls that last second, a fielder comes in and calls everybody off.
That's right. I believe it was yesterday's game with, I want to say it was Galland and Eichhoff in the left, or Galland and Norman, one of the two. And out in left field, the left fielder ended up calling off Galland, but they were about to converge in the last second. One of the left fielder called them off.
They want to make
That
sure
would
we
have
can
been
get a heart
Eichhoff in
attack up
yesterday's
here.
game.
They try to give us a heart attack up here. Is with 2 outs. It is Drew Mendoza who singled and scored back in the second inning or last inning as righty-lefty matchup running towards second base. Pitches out of the zone, threw down from Debo is not in time as Sable swipes second base. Good strong throw from Debo, but Sable to get there in time.
Yeah, Sable making that look easy. He got an outstanding jump and steals his 6th base of the season.
So the first pitch was a ball to the DH Drew Mendoza out of Florida State, facing Ty Buckner out of Missouri State. 1-0 pitch. Outside corner for strike one. Canada's back up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And with that stolen base from Sable, he now ranks top 10 in the league in stolen bases with 6.
Already have Greg Jones is up at the top of the list. The 1-1 pitch is reached out over and drops him for base hit at right field. Norman scoops it up, throws on the home, and then just getting a piece of it was Debo, but in the score is Sable, as now going to second base is Drew Mendoza. So the Anglers get another one back here in the bottom of, or the top of the 3rd inning, as Drew Mendoza's RBI single adds another one to the Anglers. They now lead 4-0 over the Harwich Mariners.
Another solid piece of hitting from English. And the Chatham Anglers are hitting and hitting and hitting in this game. No matter what Ty Buckner throws at them, they've got an answer.
Well, that's exactly right. And as I said before, just getting a big inning for Chatham has been key in their victory so far. Last time out, a 5-run 4th, ended up giving them the lead, and they didn't look back. 9-6 victory there. And then I said before, the 6-run 6 and the 13-6 victory got things going for Chatham as the first pitch to the catcher Colin Simpson is slapped foul on the first base side. And then going back even further, it was the 4-run 7th when Chatham won 5-1. So big innings has been the big key for Chatham when they take down the Mariners. And they've already had 3 in the second and 1 here. As the 0-1 pitch to Simpson misses just off the outside corner for ball 1. Simpson also singled and came around to score on the wild pitch by Buckner. That was the 3rd run and final run of that second inning. 4-0 Anglers lead, runner on second base. 1 run across this half inning. The 1-1 pitch is reach over, just getting out of the way was Buckner. Went right at him as coming around third now and into score standing up is Mendoza. So another RBI single, this time off the bat of Colin Simpson, who now has his second base hit of this evening. Already 2 singles in back-to-back innings, as now the Anglers now lead the Harwich Mariners by a score of 5-0. And what has been a hit parade to this point.
And they continue to get hits. 7 hits now in 2 2/3 innings of work for the Chatham Anglers. And 5 runs to go right along with it.
So with 2 outs, that is the 8-hitter Ash McGee. Over at first is Simpson. First pitch fastball just a little bit up in the zone for ball 1. 5-0 Anglers lead on 7 hits. Mariners still searching for their first hit. Buckner comes set. We're lefty matchup, first pitch of the 1-0 pitch. This is low outside. Able to squeeze the ball was Brad Debo. Canada's 2-0 on McGee. McGee struck out his first time around back in the second inning. Out of UNC Sports as UNC Tar Heel colored batting gloves. The 2-0 pitch McGee. Pitch runs up and out of the zone for ball 3. 3-0 on McGee.
We mentioned Colin Simpson's base hit in his last at bat, and it's good to see him start to hit for the Chatham Anglers. Colin Simpson is a guy who was actually not drafted this past season, although many people thought he would be. He had 18 home runs, 51 RBIs, and hit 280 for Oklahoma State. Really, really good numbers. Was top 10 in home runs, but was not drafted this past season. And it's only a matter of time before those hits are going to start to come.
So McGee takes his base over at first after the 4-pitch walk from Buckner, as now Shunk and Debo go out to talk to the right-handed pitcher. So there will be runners on first and second with 2 outs here. 5-0 Ayers lead over the Mariners, including 2 this half inning. After back-to-back RBI singles from Drew Mendoza and Colin Simpson.
And Buckner's pitch count is starting to rise. He's all the way up at 62. And again, having allowed 5 earned runs, you'd have to wonder how long is he going to go, as Michael Beeline is stretching in the Harwich Mariners bullpen.
So now is the 9-hole hitter Jorge Arenas, who walked his first time out. First pitch of the right-hander, big cut on a miss for strike 1.
And this Mariners pitching staff is going to have to hold Chatham right where they are. Mariners only scored 1 run yesterday in 11 innings of work. And if they're going to try to come back in this game, they're going to need to, hold them right where they are, because I'm not quite sure the Mariners are going to be able to score that many runs this evening.
Ready matchup. The 0-1 pitch curveball is slapped over towards him between the hole between short and third, and it gets in the outfield, picked up by Eichhoff. Throw in is cut off, and just like that, the Anglers score another one here in the 3rd inning. Off this time the bat of Jorge Arenas, who just placed one perfectly in between the diving Aaron Shunk and Tanner Morris. As Eichhoff just threw a strong throw in, but it was too late. Coming around to score was Colin Simpson for the 6th run this evening for the Chatham Anglers.
Pitching coach Steve Gruenberg will trot out to the mound to have a word with Ty Buckner, and it just hasn't been his day today. He's had some good outings. He's had 4 good outings, for that matter, but tonight has not been one of them.
Tonight's been a little bit of a rough start for Buckner. We've seen him had success on the Cape before, but Chatham has touched him up just a bit here this evening at White House Field. 6-0 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners, which all started back in the 2nd inning with a Blake Sable solo shot, and then a couple singles and a walk, and then a hit by pitch to score a run, and then a wild pitch is how the 2nd and the 3rd run were scored by the Anglers. And in this inning, it was the RBI single from Mendoza and another single by Simpson, able to score the 4th and 5th run, and then just the 6th run off the bat of Jorge Arenas. So Gruenberg trots back to the dugout area on the 3rd base side, and now is the off-man John Rave. First pitch runs out of the zone for ball 1, and Rave right now is in his 3rd at-bat in the 3rd inning. There have been 8 hits for the Anglers so far to this point, and 2 2/3. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, righty-lefty matchup. Buckner looks back at second, kicks and deals. 1-0 pitch, fastball at the knees for strike 1 on John Rave. Rave so far struck out in the 1st and hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. He's still searching for his first base hit to try to extend that 7-game hit streak. Buckner gets a sign from Debo. Kicks and deals. The 1-0 Rave. Fastball just misses the outer half of the plate for ball 2. Count is 2-1 on the center fielder. As mentioned earlier, Rave is 6th in the league in average at a 3.33. He's tied with Morris, actually tied for 5th with a 3.33 average. The 2-1 to Rave now. Pitch is swung and lifted. Scott out towards center field, going back to his back left. Gallen comes back just a few steps shy of the warning track, and he makes the catch for out number 3. But the Anglers do double their run total here with as they now lead the Harwich Mariners by a score of 6-0 off a pair of singles from, or a trifecta of singles from Mendoza, Simpson, and Arenas, waiting 3 more runs for the Anglers. So after 2.5, it is the Chatham Anglers 6 and the Harwich Mariners nothing. Listen to Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field for the latter half of the third inning as the Mariners try to maybe chip into this deficit as they trail the Chatham Anglers by a score of 6-0. As they scored 3 runs in the second and 3 more in the third. As the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Mariners, they still have not had a base runner reach base or even a hit added to their name.
Yeah, it's been all Anglers so far. They put up 8 hits and 6 runs. Mariners yet to have a base runner in 2 innings.
First pitch to the catcher, Brad Debo, is fouled off over the press box area and count is 0-1 on Debo. Manoah comes set, looks into the left-hander. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and lined out towards center field as it will drop 2 feet in front of the center fielder Rave, and Brad Debo's on for the first Mariners base runner this evening.
Yeah, Brad Debo really starting to heat up at the plate. Now another base hit. It's the first hit of the night for the Harwich Mariners.
Well, it's great to see that the Mariners are on the board in the hit category. So Brad Debo's on with nobody out here in the bottom half of the third inning. It is now the DH Logan Driscoll. Both Driscoll and Debo's roles were reversed yesterday. Driscoll was the catcher and Debo was the DH. First pitch, Driscoll runs outside for ball 1 for Manoah. And this is the first time. Actually, Manoah works from the stretch anyway, but interesting about Manoah, he works from the stretch even with nobody on, so feels more comfortable. 1-0 pitch to Driscoll, runs alone inside for ball 2. Count is 2-0.
And Debo now with hits in 5 consecutive games. He started the hit streak versus YD when he was 2 for 5, and he's been 1 for 4 in each of the last 3 contests.
So Debo getting more accustomed to playing every day. As a 2-0 pitch is is fouled off actually off the mid of Colin Simpson. Count is 2-1 on Driscoll now. We saw Logan Driscoll yesterday picking up 2 hits in the loss against Brewster, but we've seen him swing the bat better as well, and that's a big key for Coach Englert. If the bottom of the order guys can really start swinging that bat well, it could be a very dangerous lineup from top to bottom. As a 2-1 pitch to Driscoll, Brooks is bad as that it was ground over towards the first base side, but Engel scooped it up, but Driscoll will have to get a new bat now.
Yeah, and just about a week ago, Driscoll's average was 167. Or beg your pardon, yeah, it was 167, and his average now is 53 points higher at 220. He's 2 for 4 in each of his last 2 games.
So Driscoll gets a new bat and looks at his new prized possession and will dig in from the left side. Canada has 2 balls and 2 strikes on Driscoll. Debo off of first after his leadoff single. Manoah comes set. The 2-2 from the belt. Pitch is swung on by Driscoll and roped over towards the right field area, and it drops him for a base hit. As Sable picks it up and throws it quickly over to second base as almost a fielder's choice, and that would have been a very unfair one for Logan Driscoll, but Debo's in there anyway. But great awareness by the right fielder Sable to throw that ball in very quickly.
Well, it was great awareness from Sable, and it was very good base running from Brad Debo. Now, Brad Debo couldn't be too far off of first base because if the right fielder, Sable, had come in and made a catch on that ball, he'd had to get back to first. But on the other hand, he couldn't be too close to first base because he had to get to second base to avoid the force out.
So now with still nobody out here, runs on first and second is the 9-0 hitter, Knight Eichhoff. First pitch to Eichhoff is fouled back into the screen for strike 1. We got a couple people flinching up here in the press box area. Was directly in line with somebody here.
Now, I flinched the first few times. I think I've gotten over it a little bit. Gotten accustomed to it.
0-1 pitch to Eichhoff is swung on and missed for strike 2. Count is 0-2 on the left fielder, Eichhoff. And that's a big thing for Chatham pitching so far. They're holding their opponents hitting to 196, which is the lowest in the Cape League. And so far, it took almost 3 innings. It took 2+ innings for the Mariners to get their first base hit, but they've got something here. So I think if you're the Mariners coaching staff, you want the Mariners to get something across there, especially after Chatham has extended lead now to 6-0 over the Mariners. Get a 1 or 2 back and see where that goes from here, as The 0-2 from Manoa. Pitches. That's on the outside corner, but unable to squeeze it was the catcher, Colin Simpson. So count as 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left fielder. Wyckoff steps out for a second. Will step back in now. Nickname Ike by Coach Zenger and his teammates. As every time he comes up to bat, you hear Ike, 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 Ike from the Mariners dugout.
Spelled E-I-K, not I-K-E.
As 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed as he gets away from the catcher Simpson. So the runners will advance another 90 feet. So runners on second and third, and that's big there as the Mariners able to advance into scoring position. Both of them are now, and it takes off the double play for the Anglers.
Number 10, the shortstop.
Yeah, I think most importantly, there are 2 runners in scoring position, and they have Tanner Morris stepping in from the left side. So a really dangerous hitter for the Harwich Mariners, and he could help the Mariners get back 2 runs.
Yeah, an RBI double yesterday scored the lone run for the Mariners in a 2-1 loss to the Whitecaps as the first pitch of Morris in on the hands, and he fouls it back over towards the on-deck circle in the Mariners dugout area.
He's reached base safely in all 22 games in which he's played, looking to extend that streak this evening.
Morris digs from the left side, a righty-lefty matchup. The 0-1 to Morris. Pitch is wildly out of the zone as the catcher Simpson had to get down on his knees to catch that one as he was way out of the zone. He's up on the inside half of the plate. It came all the way to the outside half. It's the other to the right side of the batter's box.
I talked to Tanner Morris today in his interview, and he told me that one of the biggest differences between Cape Cod and playing in the ACC was the velocities.
1-1 pitch in on the hands, and it bloops out towards second base. Saria Bush able to field it, throw on the first, and Morris is retired. But able to come around the score was Brad Debo, so the Mariners do get a run across here on the fielders, or on the ground out from Tanner Morris. He picks up yet another RBI in this ball game, as well as back-to-back ball games now. He has picked up an RBI.
Number 4.
Yeah, it's a nice RBI. It's a line, just a 1 hopper over towards second base, and it's enough to get the run in for the Harwich Mariners. And not only that, what I was talking about before, he says that he's just looking to shorten up his swing a little bit with the higher velocities, and he's been able to adjust quite well.
First pitch to the number 2 hitter, Chris Gallen. Bouncing there for ball 1, as Simpson was able to stop that one as it went up towards the first base side. So 6-1. Anglers lead now over the Harwich Mariners here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Right around third as Driscoll advanced also, as the 1-0 pitch to Gallen is swung on and lifted out of play over the first base area over towards the Anglers dugout.
And Logan Driscoll, one of the very few catchers who runs well. He's got a good amount of speed. He reached on a couple of infield hits earlier in the week.
A 1-1 to Gallen as he tries to bunt, and a pitch comes way up and in as he jumps down the ground, but he couldn't pull back. So count is now 1-2 on Gallen, as maybe trying to bunt for a base hit. But now there are 2 strikes on him, so he'll have to head away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mariners have 1 run on 2 hits. Anglers 6 runs and 8 hits. The 1-2 pitch to Gallen. Pitch is swung on, and just getting a piece of it once more was Gallen. He shattered his bat as well, it looked like, or he didn't. Sounded like off the edge of the bat then. So getting new balls to the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson. Manoa looking to get out of this inning here. The 1-2 pitch to Gallen. Check swing, and it's on the outside corner for a strike 3, and Gallen goes down looking for the 3rd out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, but the Mariners do get a run back, and thanks to the ground out by Tanner Morris, as coming around to score was Brad Debo. So after 3, it is a 6-1 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Top half of the fourth inning from White House Field. Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella as the Chatham Anglers lead this game 4-1. And leading off the top of the fourth is Greg Jones, a left-handed hitting shortstop. First pitch to Jones, misses upstairs and inside. Jones 1 for 2. He singled back in the first and flew out to center in the second inning. And the 1-0 pitch is swung on. A slow ground ball over to short Morris Fields. He's not going to have a play at first as the speedy Greg Jones reaches on an infield hit.
And I was thinking the same exact thing myself. I said, I don't think Morris is going to throw this one because Jones is so quick over towards any base. And he's got speed almost like Chris Gallen. I don't know if that's fast, but
I don't know. He may have it, maybe faster than Gallen. I mean, that was outstanding. He, right when Morris fielded that ball, I think Jones was maybe only 2 or 3 steps off of first base. He was that far down the line.
And it could also be a difference too. Jones is left. He's a switch hitter, so he stood in from the left side. He got a little bit of advantage from the left side of the plate.
You do. It's only it's a couple steps, closer to first, and that makes a difference over the course of a season, especially for a quick batter. The first pitch to the 3-hitter, Michael Bush, who digs in from the left side, is upstairs and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. And 8 batters have reached for the Chatham Anglers in each of the last 2 innings. Runner on first base, no outs, 6-1, Anglers lead in the top of the fourth. Runner goes, throw down a second, not in time, as the pitch misses, and the count 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Jones is crazy quick over towards second base, and there was just nothing much Devo could do because by the time the bounce in there, Jones was pretty much in there.
It was a good throw from Devo as well, but again, Jones, he can have an okay jump. He could even have not even a great jump, and he'll still be safe a lot of the time. And the 2-0 pitch, fastball misses outside, and the count 3 balls and no strikes. Warming up in the Mariners bullpen is Michael Beeline. 3-0 delivery to Bush. Fastball that misses upstairs for ball 4, and Buckner issues a walk to the 3-hitter in the Anglers order. Have to wonder how long of a leash Buckner is going to have.
I don't think it'll be very long.
Well, he's already thrown 74 pitches as Blake Sable, the cleanup hitter, is going to step in for the left side. Now, this may be it. We've seen this a few times, and the catcher's going to go out and visit the pitcher first. And he's going to have a few words, and then he's going to come back, and then we'll see the whole coaching staff go out because at that point, gives the pitcher a few more tosses, and Devo is looking out towards that bullpen area. I would guess that's what may happen.
Especially with Buckner allowing the first 2 men on here.
Let's see if there's any movement in the Harwich Mariners dugout to come out to the mound. Oh, there it is. Coach Engler is going to come out to the mound. In comes the entire infield, and Michael Beeline will be entering this ball game, so we'll step aside in the top half of the 4th inning. It's a 6-1 Chatham Anglers lead. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Welcome back inside White House Field, and new pitcher on the mound for the Harwich Mariners is Michael Beeline, native of Chesapeake, Virginia, plays his college ball over at NC State. So far this season on the Cape, he is 0-1 with a 4.39 ERA, 7 games, all from the pen. He has 1 save and 14 1/3 innings pitched. Has given 11 hits, 11 strikeouts, and 7 walks. His last pitch back in Brewster on July 12th. 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, no walks, and no punch-outs.
Earlier this season, he had a really good performance versus Brewster, where he threw 3 innings, did not allow a single run. Also, only allowed 2 base hits during that outing. So we'll have to see if he can come back and have another appearance like that one.
He also faced the same Chatham Anglers the first time around on June 30th back in Chatham.
And Blake Sable digs in from the left side and bunts down third baseline. Devo picks it up, throws to first, and it's in time. I think Blake Sable thought that he had beaten it out. It looked awfully close, but the first base umpire, Mark Delaney, calls him out at first base.
Close play, but a good job by Debo. He understood. He needed to throw a hard ball down there. And Jess Bingham maybe half a step down there at first base. Good job by Debo coming out of the crouch and getting to the ball very quickly and able to throw a missile down there. But the Anglers do have guys on second and third now.
They look to extend their 5-run lead in the top of the 4th inning. The infield is in for the Harwich Mariners. They do not want to let this lead grow any larger for the Anglers. First pitch from Beeline to English is chopped back to the mound. Beeline fields, looks back the runner at third, now throws to first. It's in time. Well done by Michael Beeline to keep the runner at third. It was Greg Jones, who's very, very speedy. And he's just forced to stay there. I don't even know if it was a ground ball in the infield for the Harwich Mariners and one of these infielders had been able to make the play. I still think Jones may have been able to score because he's just that quick.
Yeah, I think they might have scored anyway if it even got to the infield part. So good job by Beeline just jumping up to grab that one and making sure that Jones doesn't go anywhere. And Bush was running towards third base. He was halfway between second and third.
But, you know, there's no way the Mariners are going to try to throw over to second base and get that out if it means that the run's going to come home and score.
There is nobody covering that base anyway since the infield was in.
First pitch to Drew Mendoza, the left-handed hitter. He's a designated hitter in tonight's contest. He's in there for a strike. Runners on, second and third, 2 outs. 6-1 Anglers lead. The 0-1 from Beeline is swung on, a high pop-up down the third base side, out of play. And the count runs to no balls and 2 strikes.
It must be a great feat for Beeline if he can get out of this inning unscathed.
One strike away from getting out of this inning. Wouldn't be surprised to see him throw a couple pitchers out of the zone. First base is open, 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count 1-2. Drew Mendoza 2 for 2. Had a single back in the second and scored a run. In the third, he had an RBI single, also came around to score a run. Mendoza restraps his batting gloves and digs back in from the left side. And the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed, struck him out. And Beeline works a very, very strong 2 outs. Or 3 outs, excuse me, as he retires all of the Chatham Anglers batters in order. 1, 2, 3, a sacrifice bunt from Sable. A ground ball back to the pitcher from English. And then he strikes out Drew Mendoza to end the inning. So after 3.5 innings of play, it's the Anglers 6 and the Mariners 1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom half of the fourth inning from White House Field. Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Zinzarella as the Harwich Mariners look to cut into the Anglers' 6-1 lead. Leading off in the bottom of the fourth is Aaron Shunk. It'll be Shunk, Lipsius, and Casals due up in the inning. Shunk steps in from the right side. And the first pitch swung on and fouled off. Out of play, and the count 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch. Cut on a high fly ball foul. Out of play down the right field side, and the count no balls and 2 strikes.
Perfect situation for right now for the Mariners, as if he can maybe get another run back here in this inning as well.
And Manoah has been very efficient. He's only thrown 50 pitches. The 0-2 pitch is swung on a high fly ball to right field. Right fielder Sable took a couple steps back, now steps in and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. One away in the bottom half of the fourth. And Andre Lipsius, who is the cleanup hitter for the Harwich Mariners, kicks around some dirt in the right-hander's batter's box before stepping out.
Again, these 3-4 hitters for the Mariners have been key for them so far in Lipsius and Shunk.
First pitch from Manoah. Strike on the outside corner. The count 0-1. The 0-1 delivery. Fastball on the outside corner once again. Very similar pitches from Manoah. And he's ahead in the count 0-2 on Andre Lipsius. The 0-2 is cut on and fouled off over the Chatham dugout. Count remains 0-2. Lipsius, a little bit of an issue, and now he steps back into the right-hander's batter's box after calling time. And the 0-2 delivery. Check swing, misses in the dirt. And they say he doesn't go around, so Lipsius stays alive.
It's been the same pitch most of this time, too. It's that hard slider that's going to start and then finish out of the zone from Manoah. Let's go Lipsius fishing there.
The 1-2 delivery. In there for strike 3. Paints the bottom part of the zone. Lipsius does not like the call, as the home plate umpire Rick Emerson rings him up. And there are 2 away in the bottom half of the fourth inning. And Danny Casals will try his luck with Manoah.
And that's strikeout number 5 so far for Manoah. Aaron, 3 2/3 innings pitch from him.
And the first pitch to Casals is swung on a high pop-up, foul and out of play. Count no balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitter. The 0-1 delivery, a breaking ball, misses low and out of the zone, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Base paths empty with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning, a 6-1 Anglers lead. The 1-1 pitch. Slider misses outside, and the count 2-1. And Manoah has been very accurate tonight. He's had great command, 42 strikes, 18 balls from the right-handed pitcher. The 2-1 delivery. Fastball in the upper part of the plate. And the count even at 2-2. You want to be in that 2 strikes to 1 ball ratio. 1.5 to 1 is also okay, but if you're below 1.5 strikes to 1 ball, that ratio, it's not great, as the 2-2 pitch is fouled off, but Manoah doing an outstanding job pounding the strike zone this evening.
Manoa's going right after each and every single Mariners hitter has shown the first 2 innings. The Mariners didn't record a hit until last inning. And so far right here, he's looking to get a 1-2-3 inning right back on track for the Anglers and retire these Mariners hitters.
They retired the first 2 of this inning. Shunk flew out to right, and Lipsia struck out. The 2-2 pitch to Casals is cut on and fouled off down the third base line. Third baseman Arenas fields it on a couple of hops, and we'll keep the same ball in play. So recap of what's happened this evening. There were 3 runs scored by the Anglers in the top of the second inning. 8 batters came to the plate. It started off with a home run from Sable, and a couple of RBI singles. Well, there was a walk actually hit by a pitch in that inning, and then in the top of the third, there were a couple of RBI singles. The 2-2 pitch to Casals, breaking ball on the inside part of the plate for strike 3. Couple of strikeouts from Manoa, both going down looking, both Lipsius and Casals, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 6-1 Anglers lead. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Top of the 5th inning from White House Field, a 6-1 lead for the Chatham Anglers. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Cincerella. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday evening as Colin Simpson digs in from the left side. The catcher for the Chatham Anglers has been hitting very, very well as of late as the first pitch is swung on and flied out, foul and out of play down the third base line.
Colin Simpson's been red hot this evening. Back-to-back singles in the second and the third, including an RBI single in the third.
He's now 7 for his last 12. As the 0-1 pitch misses outside, count even at 1-1. He mentioned the couple of singles he hit. He had a single in the second and third inning. Came around to score on the single in the second. And he also had an RBI in the single in the third. Triple.
Not your routine triple out towards left field, but Simpson will come all the way around now, and now we're just wondering, we're in the 5th inning. Is there a chance he can get to the cycle? He got the triple, which is the hardest one to get. He has a single. Obviously, it's just now a double and a home run away, and he might get that chance here with then only in the 5th inning.
Still pretty early, but still, I think before we start getting into that, I'd like to see him get that third part of the cycle. And Ashton McGee digs into the left-hander's batter's box. First pitch swung on, a chopper over towards Morris. Morris looks back the runner at third, tosses to first. Well done by Tanner Morris to keep Colin Simpson over at third base. And he records the out. So there's one away in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 49, the third baseman from Stetson, Jorge Arenas.
And Jorge Arenas, you mentioned, he walked back in the second and singled in the third. Infield remains in for the Harwich Mariners. First pitch, fastball hits the outside corner for strike one. It was a bit of a late signal from Rick Emerson. Simpson off of third base, one out, top of the fifth inning. 6-1 Anglers lead the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball. That one also clips the outside part of the zone. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes on the right-handed hitter Jorge Arenas. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses upstairs and outside, and the count 1-2. Beeline, someone who can throw pretty hard with that fastball. It's been a matter of controlling it over the past season at NC State.
Beeline's done a good job so far coming in from the bullpen.
The 1-2. Breaking ball swung on, a chopper up the middle for a base hit. It's going to score another run for the Chatham Anglers. And they now lead this game 7-1 on an RBI single off the bat of Jorge Arenas. That's a ball that's maybe playable for the Harwich Mariners and the defense is back, but since the defense is in trying to prevent the extra run from coming home, the single scores the run, and they lead this game 7-1.
And Arenas picks up his second RBI now on the evening, so 2 of the 7 runs have come off the bat of Jorge Arenas.
And now digging in from the left side is the leadoff hitter, John Rave, who takes ball 1. Runner on first base, 1 out, 7-1 Anglers lead in the top of the 5th. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas and Zarella. We're glad to have you on hand for this game. As the 1-0 pitch, fastball in the inside corner, and the count even at 1-1. One pitch, runner goes, throw down to second. Pitch is in there for a strike. Throw to second is not quite in time as Jorge Arenas steals second base. There's a runner on second now with 1 out. As the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes in the leadoff hitter, John Rave. Beeline gets the sign from Debo. Runner on second base with 1 out as the Anglers look to continue to add on to this lead. The 1-2 pitch from Beeline. Fastball misses outside, and the count even at 2-2. Beeline looks back, Arenas at second. Now the 2-2 pitch swung on, a chopper over towards short. Morris fields, looks at third, then throws across the diamond, and it's in time to get Rave. Wow, an across-the-body throw from Tanner Morris. He looked at third base for a moment, decided not to go to third, then threw it across the body, and it was in time to get Rave, who was in disbelief. He thought he was easily safe at first base. But the first base umpire, Mark Delaney, calls him out.
Give some credit to Andre Lipsis with a nice scoop over at first. Able to stretch out as well, and I think he could have gone to third, but it would have been a little bit closer. I don't know if it was almost as close as that. I mean, both of them might have been as close, but I'm not sure. But I thought it might have been a little easier play to go to third.
And the first pitch to Greg Jones. This is outside for ball 1.
Just would have thought his momentum was going towards third anyway because he had to move over towards his right side. But maybe he thought the first base was a better decision.
The 1-0 pitch misses inside, now coming home, and the throw to the plate is not in time. So scoring yet another run is Jorge Arenas, and it is an 8-1 Chatham Anglers lead on a wild pitch from Michael Beeline.
Yeah, getting up slowly actually is Arenas. He's very limping a little over towards the Chatham bench. Remember, Greg Jones back in Chatham last game these two teams played each other. He injured himself diving into home, so hope Arenas is okay. Walk a little gingerly over towards the dugout.
2-0 pitch misses inside to Greg Jones, and the count 3 balls and no strikes in the left-handed hitter. 2 runs in already in the 5th inning. It's an 8-1 lead. 3-0 pitch fastball on the inside corner. Count 3-1. When the Mariners are struggling to score runs, it's tough to continue to allow runs on the mound. That's a 3-1 pitch. Swung on a ground ball over towards second base. Casals fields, he'll flip to first, and that'll do it for the top of the 5th inning, but not before the Anglers score 2 runs and lead this game 8-1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Zarella. Glad to have you with us on hand for this game as the Chatham Anglers lead the Harwich Mariners 8-1. And digging into the left-hander's batter's box is Ben Norman. The first pitch is swung on and fouled off out of play down the left field side. Steps out, now steps back in. Mariners need a rally at this point. They look to come back into this ball game. The 0-1 pitch runs inside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
I don't think the Mariners would want to score at least 1 or even 2 runs in this inning just to get back into things.
Mariners cut it to a 5-run deficit in the bottom of the 3rd as the 1-1 pitch is a fastball, misses upstairs and outside, and the count 2-1. At that point, the Mariners cut it to a 6-1 Anglers lead.
And it all starts with the leadoff man in the inning, too, and Ben Norman, if he can find a way on, shows some life here in the 5th.
After the Mariners cut it to a 5-run lead, the Anglers struck for 2 more in the top of the 5th as the 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off out of play, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As temperatures start to fall at White House Field. The 2-2 delivery from Manoa. Fastball runs upstairs and inside, and the count full at 3-2. Due up in the inning, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Norman, Debo, and Driscoll. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball cut on and miss. It's in the dirt, fielded by Simpson. Will toss over to first for the out. One away in the bottom half of the fifth inning.
And Manoa continues to deal here now into the fifth inning. He picks up his seventh strikeout. Remember, he ended things back in the fourth with back-to-back strikeouts to Lipscomb Casals. So that's 3 in a row dating back to last inning, but again, about a half his Ks are looking and half of them are swinging, so.
The first pitch to Brad Debo is cut on and fouled off. He mentioned his hit in the last inning. Hit streak is extended. Five games now for the catcher as the 0-1 pitch misses low and in the dirt, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Brad Debo. And Brad Debo has gone from only playing once every 2-3 days as the catcher, and now he's getting reps every single day as a designated hitter. And it seems like Coach Englert has been using those 3 catchers and putting 2 of them in either the DH or the catching spot as the 1-1 pitch is swung on. A ground ball over towards shortstop, fielded by Jones. He'll toss across the diamond, and they're 2 away.
Well, that's what Anglers continue to done here so far this season. Again, rotating all 3 of those catchers between catching reps and DH reps and what have you.
Number 21, the designated hitter from George Mason.
And Logan Driscoll, who is the designated hitter in this evening's contest. We'll dig into the left-hander's batter's box. He singled back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The first pitch swung on, a high pop-up. Third baseman McGee gives chase and runs out of room. There are some defensive changes. As I mentioned, McGee now at third base, and Fogel is out in left field. McGee was in left field. He moves to third. Arenas, who was the third baseman, has come out of the game. And the new left fielder who will take Arenas' spot in the 9 hole is Adam Fogel. The 0-1 pitch to Driscoll. Breaking ball misses low, and the count 1-1. 75 pitches from Manoa this evening in 4 2/3 innings of work. He's kept that pitch count down. If he's able to get Driscoll, he may be able to work into the 6th inning. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses inside, and the count 2-1.
And the longer Manoa is on the mound, the longer the Mariners might be struggling to scratch across hits and runs. Only 1 run on 2 hits so far for the Mariners, and that run came back in the 3rd inning. That was the Tanner Morris ground out that got the only run so far.
2-1 pitch. Fastball clips the inside part of the plate. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Logan Driscoll. And the Harwich Mariners trail in this game by 7 runs. It's 8-1 Anglers. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Anglers put up 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th. The 2-2 pitch to Driscoll is a breaking ball cut on and missed, and that will do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. Mariners go down in order 1-2-3 at the end of 5 innings of play. It's the Anglers 8 and the Mariners 1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Top half of the 6th inning as the Harwich Mariners trail the Chatham Anglers 8-1. I'm Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. Thank you for tuning in with us and listening on this beautiful Saturday evening. And the first pitch, this is for a ball on Blake Sable. 1-0 pitch, swung on and losing the bat. Excuse me, Michael Bush, beg your pardon. 3-hitter in the order for the Chatham Anglers. Sable on deck. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Bush, Sable, and English.
Put some pine tar around that bat. Make sure you hold on to that one, because Sal's has lost his bat a few times this year. Some guy swings so hard, they just lose the handle.
Bush, one of only a few players in this Anglers order who has not actually gotten a hit today. Lined into a double play back in the first inning. He flew out to center in the third and walked in the fourth. The 1-1 pitch from Beeline. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Base paths empty, no outs. Top of the 6th inning, an 8-1 Anglers lead. 3 runs in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fifth. Mariners' only run came in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Beeline gets a sign from Debo. The 2-1 pitch, fastball swung on and fouled off just above us here in the press box, and the count even at 2-2. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Michael Bush. The delivery from Beeline. Fastball that misses low and in. The count goes full at 3-2. The payoff pitch from Michael Beeline is cut on and missed. Bush goes down swinging on a breaking ball, and there's 1 away in the top of the 6th.
As you mentioned before, Bush unable to join the hit parade that has gone on this evening, and John Rava as well. Those are 2 guys in the Anglers lineup that have not been able to get a hit in, as well as Trish and English.
One person who has certainly gotten a hit, that would be Blake Sable. He is a home run back in the 2nd inning, had an RBI single in the 3rd. It's been one of the big parts of this big Anglers offense this evening. As the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner to Sable. Didn't like the call from the home plate umpire Emerson.
Also had a sack bunt his last time around too, so technically he's still hitting 1,000 on this game.
The 0-1 delivery. Fastball misses just outside, and the count 1-1. Sable, the left-handed hitter, digs back in. The 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball outside, and the count 2-1. And Thomas, if you're the Mariners right now, what are you looking to do for the rest of this game?
Well, you know, we're looking to try to keep the Anglers bats at bay, but then you're also trying to just get guys on. That's a start for things so far. They've only been able to get 2 hits so far. Just get guys on.
2-1 pitch to Sable is swung on, a high fly ball over to center field. Galland moving all over the outfield trying to track that ball. Eventually gets under it and makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down from Michael Beeline in the top half of the 6th inning. And Tristan English, another one of those guys who's yet to join the hit parade. He's 0 for 3 this evening. He struck out in the 2nd And then also grounded back to the pitcher in the fourth inning. And when in a crucial spot, there was a runner on third with one out. He chopped it right back to Beeline, was unable to drive in the run as the first pitch is a breaking ball in there for strike one on Tristan English. The 0-1 pitch misses. The count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Sable. I beg your pardon on English. English digs back in from the right side, taps home plate once, 1-1 count. 2 outs, top of the 6th inning, an 8-1 Anglers lead. The 1-1 pitch from Beeline is swung on and fouled off out of play, and the count 1-2. English restraps his batting gloves and digs back in, looking to get his first hit of the evening. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball swung on, a blooper going out as Casals is out of his reach in right field. It's a base hit into shallow right field, and Sable is aboard with 2 outs.
Yeah, but a couple of those little bloop in on the hands. In English this time able to reach base. Just again, on a couple bloop hits that have gone the Anglers' way so far. He's selling out towards over the Morris's head earlier in the game, and now over Casals' head. So those many infielders have been having trouble reading those balls, and they're not easy to get either, I can tell you that much.
Runner on first base, 2 outs as English reaches base for the first time this evening. Drew Mendoza, the designated hitter, he's been on base a couple of times, scored 2 runs. And Beeline will toss back over to first base as English scurries back to the bag. First pitch from Beeline. Fastball misses outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Drew Mendoza. 12 hits this evening for the Chatham Anglers. They've only been retired a total of 17 times. A 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count 2-0. So they're 12 for 29 this evening. Talk about a solid average. That's over 400. Runner on first base, 2 outs. 2-0 pitch. Swung on a high fly ball to left center field, charging over his Gallon. He'll give way to left fielder Eichhoff, who makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So the Anglers strand 1 at the end of 5.5. It's the Anglers 8 and the Mariners 1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. The Sacred Cod Tavern at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa, a quintessential New England dining experience for lunch or dinner, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. Welcome back in the bottom half of the 6th inning from White House Field. It's an 8-1 Chatham Anglers lead. I'm Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. We're glad to have you with us for this contest between the Mariners and the Anglers. It's been all Anglers up until this point as the 9-hitter Nate Eichhoff digs in. First pitch fastball, cut on and missed, and the count 0-1.
So far, the Mariners only able to get 1 run on 2 hits.
And Nick Kale is the new catcher for the Chatham Anglers. He replaces Simpson behind home plate. 0-1 pitch, fastball runs upstairs and inside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike on the left-handed hitter, Nate Eichhoff.
We have John Rave, I think, coming out of the game. Vogel sliding over to center field and Simpson moving out to left field.
And the 1-1 pitch is cut on, a high fly ball to left field, and that ball is gone. A solo home run off the bat of Nate Eichhoff, and the Harwich Mariners cut the deficit to 8-2. He goes the other way on that ball and it continued to carry out to left field.
Yeah, that's what we call an oppo taco around here. As Eichhoff just putting that right around the left field pole, and this is a Mariners team that does not have many home runs this year. Only 8 coming into the game, which is the tie for the least amount in the Cape League. And Chatham, for example, on their offensive side, they've hit 24 this season, which is second behind Orleans. So.
And a pinch hitter will come in for Tanner Morris.
Jordan Green, who haven't seen him very much this season, but because obviously he came later.
Green out of Clemson. Yet to find he has 1 hit so far on Cape Cod. It's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball and misses outside, and the count 1-0 to the right-handed hitter. It was part of a 17-run inning this year against Notre Dame in the ACC tournament. It's a 1-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Green so far just 1 for 8 on the season. Just again, getting some more at bats and getting used to the wooden bat is takes you maybe 20, 30 at bats regularly to get really used to that.
A 2-0 offering from Manoah. Fastball on the outside corner, on the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And the home run from Eichhoff is big because it puts the Mariners back in this game to an extent offensively. If they can chip in a couple more runs in the next couple of innings, they'll find themselves within reach as they hit the 8th and the 9th. As a 2-1 pitch is on the outside corner for strike 2, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch to Green, misses outside, and the count goes full at 3-2.
Green does have some speed once he reaches first base, if he can.
And with Tanner Morris coming out of the game, this will be the first time he has not reached base in a game this season. He was 0 for 1, over 2, excuse me, with an RBI. 3-2 pitch, fastball cut on and missed by Green. He goes down swinging, and there's 1 away in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Chris Gallant steps into the right-hander's batter's box. Takes a couple of practice swings. First pitch from Manoah. Breaking ball. Cuts in on the inner half of the plate for strike 1.
And Manoah's been really working well at that slider all evening long. He's put on the inside half, starting right at a right-hander, or he starts it at the plate or in the zone and then finishes out of the zone to right-hander as well.
0-1 pitch. Fastball in there for strike 2. It'll be Gallant followed by Shunk in the bottom of the 6th. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed. And Gallant goes down swinging. 2 away in the inning.
So Manoa's responded very well after the Eichhoff home run. That's now 10 strikeouts. He's reached double digits now.
Yeah, I don't think you can overstate how well Manoa has done. Yeah, there's another pinch hitter coming into this game. It's Gabe Rivera. Now Rivera will pinch hit for Aaron Shunk. A number of pinch hitters coming in tonight's contest for both sides. First pitch to Rivera, fastball in the outside corner for strike one.
Coaches figuring they might as well empty their benches. Try to get some guys some at-bats here. Guys, you know, aren't everyday players.
Have to see if Will Matheson possibly makes an appearance. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. We've seen Matheson off the mound quite a bit. He'll be back out on the mound later in the week. They've not seen him hit very recently, though. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gabe Rivera. Base paths empty, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. An 8-2 Anglers lead in the 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner for strike 3, Rivera goes down looking to end the bottom of the 6th inning, but not before the Mariners tack on a run. It's a solo home run off the bat of Nate Eichhoff that puts the Mariners back within 6. So at the end of 6 innings of play, it's the Mariners 2 and the Anglers 8. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
And welcome back inside Whitehouse Field for the top half of the 7th inning between the Chatham Anglers and the Harwich Mariners. And it's been Anglers, all the Anglers so far after 3 runs in the 2nd and the 3rd. Put up 6 as the first pitch to Colin Simpson is skied out towards right field, moving back to the track and making a grab in the air is the right fielder Ben Norman. As the ball almost ate him up on that one and just able to reach up with the glove and make the catch.
Some defensive changes for the Harwich Mariners in the field. A new diamond. Third base, Nate Eichhoff. Shortstop, Danny Casals. Second base, Jordan Green. First base, Andre Lipsius. Now in left field is Gabe Rivera. Center field, Chris Gallen. And in right is Ben Norman.
First pitch to Ash McGee is fouled up and out of play as Michael Beeline is on for another inning of work for the Harwich Mariners. So far, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Anglers lead this game by a score of 8-2 after the Eichhoff home run just last inning. 1 pitch McGee as bounces in there and people not able to completely scoop it, but able to block it at least. So count is now 1 ball and 1 strike on the number 8 hitter, Ashton McGee, the left fielder. The 1-1 pitch is chopped over towards the Mariners dugout area, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. McGee out of UNC. so far this evening is 0 for 2 with a walk. Still searching for his base hit. He's one of those guys in the lineup that is unable to get a hit, even though the Anglers have 12 of them. They're out hitting the Mariners by 4 times as the 1-2 pitch is swung on a high chopper over towards first. Lipsy snaps in the air, calls off. Beeline was taking himself over to the bag as there are quickly 2 outs here, 2 up, 2 down for the Anglers this inning. So with 2 outs, it is the number 9 hitter. Jorge Arenas was supposed to be in it, but it is Adam Fogel who substituted into Arenas' spot after it looked like on that dive into home plate he might have injured himself something. And this is one thing Chatham does not need anymore. They have had a ton of injuries so far. So 2 outs is the right-hander hitting Adam Fogel as first pitch. Off-speed pitches in there at the knees for strike 1.
And Beeline's pitched really well this evening. He struggled in the top of the 5th inning, but aside from that, he's looked outstanding on the mound.
1 pitch just misses down below the knee for ball 1. Count is 1-1 now.
Caleb Freeman warms up in the Harwich Mariners bullpen.
Fogel did pinch hit for back last time these two teams faced it up with an RBI double as the 1-1 fastball's on the outside corner at the knees, and Fogel not a call that one, but it's in there anyway. 1-2 now on the center fielder. Fogel coming in out of Hawaii, one of the Rainbow Warriors. The 1-2 pitch to Fogel. Outside the corner, just not catching enough of the black. Okay, that's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Fogel now. So Beeline looking to work a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 7th. Mariners trail the Anglers by a score of 8-2.
And Beeline's been quite efficient. He's averaged less than 15 pitches per inning.
Well, a 2-2 pitch to Fogel is just getting a piece as it is fouled back into the screen. And they'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Had the 1 inning in the top of the 5th again where he had a number of more pitches, but generally it's been fewer than 12, 11 pitches for Beeline this evening.
Beeline comes out, gets the sign from the catcher, Debo. He wheels and deals with a 2-2. Curveball just comes in a bit too high. So count runs full now on Fogel. Three balls and 2 strikes is the count. The payoff pitch. Fastball runs up and inside. Fogel backs out. And he'll take his base over at first.
The home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, calls time.
He's calling for balls, and the ball boys gonna resupply the home plate umpire, Emerson. That's
The catcher from Washington, Nick.
one thing if you want a can to keep moving on is the umpire.
You need some baseballs.
In charge of, that's your one job as an umpire is to not only call a good game, but to get in and get out as quickly as possible. Time management. We see some quick games this year on the Cape, almost a 2-hour game earlier in the year, but it was between Brewster and Orleans. As a 2-outs run on first pitch is skied up in the air over towards the left side of the infield towards foul grounds, but it will find the hill down there off the pavement for strike 1 on the leadoff hitter. That is Nick Kale. Kale was moved into the catcher's position, so not really a conventional lineup. You know, catcher leading off. Not your speedster, but get the job done. As the 1 pitch to Kale, off-speed pitch runs just a bit off the plate for ball 1. Candyman's back up at 1-1 on the catcher. 1-1 the count on Kale. 2 outs here in this 7th inning. Runner on first as Beeline will check on the runner at first and diving back in safely is Fogel. As the 1-1 pitch gets away from the catcher, Debo, and jogging over towards second base is Fogel. So now he advances over to second base here with 2 outs, and it looked like Debo just didn't look it all the way in. He was just looking to throw down a first base. You can tell he had his arm over towards the glove area. His body was already pivoting and just didn't look it all the way in. So we have pass ball going against Debo. So with 2 outs, Fogel's off a second. 2-1 count on the catcher, Kale. Beal looks back at Fogel at second. He kicks and deals. The 2-1 pitch. Kale fouls it back into the backstop for strike 2. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kale this season only 2 for 15. Catcher out of Washington. One of his rival schools in the Pac-12, Oregon State, just winning the championship this year in Omaha. As the 2-2 to Kale, fouling it back once more into the fence behind home plate. Silva doing it at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'd like to see what Beeline's going to throw here with first base open. He can afford to throw a couple pitches out of the strike zone, try to get a swing and a miss. Tried the fastball last time. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go with the curve.
The 2-2 pitch to Kale. Curveball swung on and grounded over towards foul ground area, towards the Mariners bullpen area.
He got Kale to bite, but even though he bit, he was able to foul it off.
Kale did a good job to get down in the zone and able to lift it up. So 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count once more. Beeline comes set, looks back, full at second, looks back to home plate now. He kicks and fires. 2-2 pitches swung on and lifted out towards straightaway center field. Center fielder Gal moving in a step or 2, and he camps under it for out number 3. So Fogel is left over at second base as the Mariners able to hold the Angers to no runs in this 7th inning. So after 6.5, it is an 8-2 lead in favor of the Chatham Anglers heading to the 7th inning stretch. We'll see to Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And we'll go back inside White House Field for the bottom half of the 7th inning. And new pitcher on the mound as Alec Manoah's night comes to an end. And it was a rather strong one for Manoah. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, no walks, and 11 punch-outs. As you mentioned off the air, he only faced 21 batters. Struck out 11 of them.
More than half the batters he faced, he was able to strike out. Josh McMillan, the new pitcher for the Chatham Anglers. Back at Texas Tech this season, he had a 4.02 ERA. And he had a really strong freshman year over at Texas Tech. He had a 1.75 ERA as a reliever. But this year he started 5 times, so transitioning from that relief position to a starter over at Texas Tech, although he's receiving more relief appearances here in Harwich.
And his counterpart in the bullpen area is his teammate back at Texas Tech, Caleb Freeman, who's been warming up, as you said, last inning. So now leading things off in the bottom of the 7th, it is the cleanup man, the first baseman, Andre Lipsius, who is over 2 this evening. Mariners only get around for their 3rd at-bats now. First pitch is in there on the outer half for strike 1 on Lipsius. Lipsius flew out on the 2nd and struck out looking in the 4th. 1 pitch, Lipsius comes up and inside as he backs out of the way for ball 1. Lipsius was hit on the back yesterday by a curveball, as the 1-1 pitch is fouled out of play over towards the first base side. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now. McMillan comes set. The 1-2 offering to Lipsius. Pitches down the zone, but able to lay off is Lipsius, as the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 offering as pitch runs well upstairs, the fastball. Count runs full, and McMillan's fastball tends to be around the mid-90s to upper 90s, 95 to 97, as the full count is well upstairs once more. Lipsius will take his base and lead off walk here in the bottom of the 7th. And he throws some gas.
Number 18,
But he's able to also move in his slider and his changeup. So we'll see how he's able to, or those pitches able to work today, as Lipsius is on lead off walk here in the bottom of 7th. He reaches base for the first time this evening. And it's Danny Casals, who has a pair of strikeouts so far. Check swing as the first pitch, and it misses for ball 1.
Yeah, the Mariners have struggled to get hits all night long. And just to get a walk is a plus for this Mariners order right now.
Not much going on the offensive side, as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and line out towards right field as he hugs the line. Will drop in for a base hit as it rolls all the way to the walk. Lipsius around second. He holds up at third by Coach Pascarosa. And cruising into second base is Danny Casals, as we call him here the doubles machine. He pulls out another double here with no outs in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, he now continues to lead Cape Cod with doubles. He's the first player to reach double digits in that category with 10. As he lines that ball down the right field line, and it's tailing the entire way, and eventually it slices towards the line in fair territory and rolls over into the corner. By the time the right fielder Sable is able to get to that ball, Casals is easily in at second base, and now the Mariners have something cooking in the bottom of the 7th.
They finally got Manoa out of the game as the first pitch to the right fielder Ben Norman runs up in the zone for ball 1.
And well, they're down by 6. If they're able to score these 2 runs in the inning, a 4-run game would at least put them within striking distance coming into the 8th and 9th inning.
1-0 runs up and out of the zone for a ball 2. Count is 2-0 is now meeting on the mound.
We mentioned that you normally want to have about 2 strikes for every 1 ball. Well, tonight it's been the exact opposite for McMillan. He has 3 strikes and 6 balls. So he struggled with his control over the first 3 batters. And now that Norman's ahead in the count 2-1, what happens if he's able to walk? Are the Mariners able to continue this rally?
So runners on second and third here with no outs in the home half of the 7th inning. 8-2 Angels lead over the Harwich Mariners, as the Mariners are showing some life right now with, after the walk by Lipsius, a double by Casals, as a 2-0 pitch runs out of the zone over at the eye level on Norman, so count is 3-0.
I'd think that Norman would be taking all the way on 3-0.
This is well upstairs again, and now bases are loaded here with no outs. And
I'm not sure McMillan has any command this evening. Again, normally when you're down 3-0, you're going to throw a pitch, and if you miss, maybe miss by a couple inches. He missed 2-3 feet upwards of the zone. It was over the head of the catcher, Kale.
He's been missing like that since he came in against Lipsius. He threw back-to-back fastballs that just weren't close. So now with bases loaded is the catcher Brad Debo, who has single came around to score back in the third inning. First the Debo misses up in the zone for ball one.
And if you're Brad Debo here, you're taking until he throws you a strike, maybe 2 strikes. Make him find the zone, because right now McMillan has no sense of where it is.
The 1-0 to Debo. Check swing, but don't lay off the fastball. Above the letters, count as 2 balls and no strikes on Debo.
That pitch was awfully close. You can tell McMillan wanted it. But again, he continues to throw ball after ball.
Still no action down the Engler bullpen as the 2-0 to Debo misses above the letters again at the eye level again. Count is 3-0, and now
it's 3 strikes and 11 balls thrown by McMillan. He's at risk of walking in a run, and what a difference the pitcher has made for the Mariners between Manoah and McMillan.
And finally able to catch the zone, a fastball at the knees from McMillan, and count as 3 balls and 1 strike.
And again, if you're Brad Debo, I still think you're taking on 3-1. Make him throw you that second strike.
The 3-1 to catcher Debo was fouled over the press box there, and count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Debo. So no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Bases are loaded for the catcher Brad Debo. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count. He steps out for a second, taps his bat on his sleeves, and will set to do work again. Waves his bat towards the pitcher, McMillan. The 3-2 payoff pitch, check swing pitch in the dirt. Did he go around? He did not, says third base umpire Mike Rabideau. And Debo is able to walk, and now coming around to score is Andre Lipsius. So good at bat work by Brad Debo, as McMillan just couldn't quite get him to bite at the slider down in the zone.
Yeah, I think he just lost the zone. I think he just has little to no command right now. I think that he was probably trying to throw a strike there on 3-2, but he missed out. He missed low.
And this is a big inning now too, as now quickly working down the bullpen area as a right-hander, and he's warming up very quickly.
And all of a sudden, the Mariners have the tying run on deck.
As now Logan Driscoll, the designated hitter this evening, and still no outs. Bases are loaded. Fastball runs above the letters for ball one, and McMillan just can't find the zone right now. Driscoll, so far, is 1 for 2. He singled back in the third inning.
And I say the tying run stands on deck because that's Nate Eichhoff with a home run last inning.
1-0 to Driscoll pitch. This is upstairs for ball 2, and again, McMillan unable to find the zone.
Right now, 5 strikes, 14 balls thrown by the right-hander.
2-0 is the count. From the stretch, the 2-0 pitch, fastball out the belt for strike 1 on Logan Driscoll. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. And now Driscoll still in a hitter's count here. We'll see if McMillan tries to fire a fastball in there again. Bases are loaded. 1 run across, 8-3 Anglers lead. However, the Mariners are in distance as the 2-1 fastballs on the outside corner at the knees. Count evens back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, in the Anglers scenario, a double play ball wouldn't be ideal. They would rather trade, I think, outs for runs at this point.
They could get a couple of, they could score 2 runs with 2 outs. I think the Mariners would be content.
Check swing in the dirt. Driscoll goes around. It's his home plate umpire, Rick Everson. And Driscoll goes down swinging a pitch. That was in the dirt. So that's a first strikeout for McMillan so far. And with 1 out, bases are still loaded. And now here is the ever dangerous Nate Eichhoff, who you mentioned before hit a home run his last at bat just back in the 6th inning. Looks to do some damage here. First pitch, Eichhoff. Slider misses off the plate on the outer half for ball 1. Eichhoff so far 1 for 2 with that home run to left field and the strikeout back in the 3rd. The 1-0 pitch to Eichhoff. Fastball misses off the plate. It was better eye, better level, but just not, left to right.
He's missing everywhere. Upstairs, he's missed mostly up, but upstairs and outside a lot as well.
A 2-0 pitch to Eichhoff, check swing. And it's in there anyway, says the home plate umpire Rick Emerson. Count has 2 balls and 1 strike now on Eichhoff.
I thought that pitch was a strike, but Emerson, he's taken a while to make that signal with his hand.
So 2 balls, 1 strike is the count on the left-hander, Eichhoff. McMillan comes set. The 2-1 pitch to Eichhoff. Check swing and fouls it back into the screen alongside the third base line. As now there are 2 strikes on Eichhoff. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. He steps out for a second, readjusts his batting gloves. Those sporty Franklin batting gloves in the Harwich red and blue colors. 2-2 is the count. Towards the back end of the batter's box, a 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and Eichhoff goes down swinging at a slider in the dirt, and that's back-to-back strikeouts now by McMillan.
And McMillan, he started off both those at-bats poorly, finding himself down in a hole in the count, but he's fought back and gotten a strikeout out of both of them. He's down in the count, I believe it was 2-0 versus Driscoll, 2-0 versus Eichhoff, and comes back to strike them both out.
And for the Mariners, time is ticking now as there are now quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 8-3 Anglers lead. Bases are still loaded for leadoff man Jordan Green. Takes a first pitch fastball at the knees, and now there is nobody else with much more confidence than McMillan on the mound. If you're him, because he struck out the last 2 batters after not being able to find the zone. We've seen that strike to ball ratio coming right back up as the 0-1 pitch to Green. Check swing in the dirt, gets away from Kale for a second, but not enough for a run to score as Casals is on third.
Casals took a couple of steps off of third base, thought about going for a second, but once he realized that Kale had blocked the ball effectively, he was headed back to third base.
1 ball, 1 strike is the count on Green. 2 outs here, bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th. 8-3 Anglers lead. Casals off a third. The 1-1 pitch, big swing and miss by Green. Took a big cut of that one, but couldn't quite make contact as the count is now quickly 1-2.
I think the Mariners are going to need at least another run in this inning if they're looking to put themselves in a good situation moving into the 8th and 9th. Not that it's impossible if they don't score another run, but it just is going to be that much harder.
The 1-2 to Green. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner, and Green goes down looking. So after a walk, a double, another walk to get the bases loaded, McMillan walks a run in, but then strikes out the next 3 hitters to get out of the jam. So after 7, it is the Anglers 8 and the Mariners 3. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside White House Field for the top half of the 8th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Mariners is Caleb Freeman as Michael Beeline's night is done. And he pitched 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts for the Mariners.
Yeah, Beeline was very effective for the Harwich Mariners. Despite the fact he allowed those 2 runs in the 5th, he's coming in a game where these Chatham Anglers bats are really hitting. And it's much tougher to come in one of those games when the other team is really producing. So, I think we should really commend him for his solid performance tonight, Caleb Freeman will be entering the game for the Harwich Mariners.
And so Freeman this year has been excellent in making his 4th appearance with a .8 ERA. The only 1 run coming earned was back in YD. He pitched 3 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 earned, and that was on the game-tying home run that YD ended up winning. So he's called upon here to preserve this deficit of 5 runs as he faces this speedy shortstop Greg Jones, as first pitch fastball misses upstairs for ball 1.
And I think for the pitcher Freeman right now, he's probably going to go the 8th and 9th inning, or at least that's what the Mariners coaching staff is looking for him to do. Pitch these 2 innings and save the rest of the bullpen.
1-0 pitch misses low and outside for ball 2 on Jones. Jones so far is 2 for 4. He has a pair of singles, a flyout, and a ground out. Grounded out back in his last at-bat in the 5th inning over to Casals at second base.
Especially with the Mariners not yet reporting who will be starting tomorrow. We don't know, but it could be a big bullpen day tomorrow. So that could mean something in terms of who they're trying to keep available for tomorrow night's game.
1-1 pitches in there for a strike count as 1 ball on 2 strikes. Freeman kicks and deals. 1-2 just misses off the plate for a ball. 2-2 is the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th. 2-2 is the count on Jones. The pitch is chopped over slowly over towards the first base side. It might have hit him on the way out, but it's foul anyways. The Anglers looked maybe out on a few more to their 8-3 lead over the Mariners, in which they scored 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th, and they've been quiet ever since. Quiet 6, 7, and so far in the 8th inning, nothing going here. Again, just the big innings for the Anglers have been the Achilles heel for the Mariners all season long, and they're all the 3 prior meetings. This is their 4th meeting as the 2-2 pitches. Last pitch just getting a piece was Jones. I'll be surprised here if Freeman goes with a fastball upstairs, changing eye levels. Two is the count. Freeman, he kicks and deals. 2-2 pitches skied up over towards left field. Rivera moving back a step or 2 and camps under it for out number 1. So Jones is retired for the first out here in the top of the 8th inning.
Number 33, the second baseman.
These Chatham bats have been a tough out all game long, but nothing more than the first maybe 3 innings when the bats just erupted. They had 8 hits in the first 3 innings, only 12 on the game, so they've had 4 since. First pitch is chopped over just in front of home plate towards the first base side. Freeman picks it up, throw on to first, and a little bit of high throw, but Lipsy is able to snag it in the air, so back-to-back outs quickly here as Bush grounds out 1-3 from Freeman to Lipsy over at first.
Number 21.
So 2 outs now in the top of the 8th. 8-3 Anglers lead over the Mariners. Caleb Freeman so far has done an efficient job on the mound. Only 8 pitches for 2 outs. As he faces off against the ever-dangerous Blake Sable, the right fielder this evening. He's 2 for 3, including a solo shot to really get things going for the Mariners, or for the Anglers, excuse me. Right-lefty matchup. First pitch from Freeman is in on the hands and popped up over towards shallow left field. Eichhoff giving chase. Rivera gives chase and able to make the catch for out number 3. So 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners as the Anglers go down in order. And after a 7.5, it is an 8-3 ball game. This is Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And we'll go back inside White House Field for the bottom half of the 8th inning. But first, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
One game is final so far. It's the YD versus Brewster game. The Red Sox defeated the Whitecaps 7-2.
As the first pitch to Chris Gallen is popped up high in the air out towards left center field. The center fielder Fogel will call off Simpson for out number 1.
In the bottom of the 6th inning, the Cotuit Kettleers doubling up the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 6-3. And then the Falmouth Commodores are blanking the Wareham Gatemen 1-0. And the Orleans Firebirds also shutting out the Bourne Braves 3-0. So, Brewster Whitecaps have now lost 2 of their last 3 games after winning back-to-back.
Big swing and miss by Gabe Rivera, who is something with the 3 spot here. Rivera struck out back in the 6th in his first at-bat.
Mariners, if the scores remain the same, would be 4 points ahead of 4th place Orleans.
One pitch misses out in the zone for ball 1. It's key to watch on Orleans and Brewster. Those are the 2 teams behind the Mariners in the playoff race. Chen will pick up a few points here with the win if the result stays, as 1-1 pitch misses down the zone for ball 2. Count as 2 balls and 1 strike.
As far as making the playoffs go, the Brewster, the fifth team Brewster is the important one to watch, because it doesn't matter if they finish 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st in terms of making the playoffs, that is. Of course, you want to be 1st or 2nd place, but in terms of making the playoffs at all.
2-2 pitch swung on a miss to Rivera, and Rivera strikes out.
That's the team to watch. Mariners ahead of the Whitecaps by 10 points.
From the University of Tennessee, Andre Lipsius.
So now as Andre Lipsius is the first baseman, the cleanup man, with 2 outs here. Facing the right-hander McMillan, as first pitch fastball bounces there for ball 1. And McMillan's been a little bit better this half inning than he was last inning. 1-0 pitch to Lipsius. Pitches in there at the knees for strike 1 as Lipsius watched it go by. Count if it's back up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 slider is in there at the knees, and McMillan continues to fire away at the off-speed pitch. 1-2 is the count now. That was rocket out towards on the line, over towards the right field corner. Lipsius rounds first, heading towards second base as the Sable slips up trying to stop the ball, and Lipsius is on with a 2-out double here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Nice piece of hitting by Andre Lipsius. He just goes the other way with that ball. And with the right fielder Sable playing so far over, he hit it right down the line. It was a long ways for him to go, so easily in there at second base with a stand-up double was Andre Lipsius, his 2nd time on base this evening.
We've seen both the left and the right fielders really playing more towards the gap. And we see the center fielder, Fogel, playing just a little more towards right center. So maybe Tom Holiday's defense alignment. It looks like there's a pinch runner over at second base, or still Lipsius. First pitch is in there to Danny Casals for strike 1. McMillan kicks and deals. Off-speed pitch big, swing and miss by Casals.
Again, Casals extended his lead for doubles and Cape Cod. Now with 10, second place is 8. Actually, his teammate Tanner Morris holds that spot.
0-2 pitch swung on and misses. Casals runs towards first base. Throw down from Kale is in time. And after the 2-out double by Andre Lipsius, Casals strikes out on 3 pitches. So after 8 innings is the Chatham Anglers 8 and the Harwich Mariners 3. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside the White House Field for the top half of the 9th inning. And as Caleb Freeman back on the rubber for the Mariners, as it looks to get a 1-2-3 inning as they also face English Mendoza and Colin Simpson. So McMillan calmed down a lot last inning after his rough, well, I won't say rough, but it was an interesting 7th inning, easier 8th inning.
That's right, McMillan, he started off and he really struggled to start the inning.
First pitch, Tristan English is swung on and a high pop-up into shallow left field. Coming in is the center fielder, Gallen, will call off Rivera over in left field for the first out.
He started off really poorly. He had 3 strikes and 11 balls in his first 14 pitches, and one of the strikes was a double to right field from Casals. So he had a lot of trouble finding the strike zone, had very little control, but he rebounded really nicely in that inning, struck out the final 3 batters, and then just allowed 1 hit in the 8th. And through 44 pitches, he now has a positive strike-to-ball ratio, 24 strikes and 20 balls.
Oh, definitely different McMillan that inning as a pinch hitter coming on is Rankin Woolley for Drew Mendoza. We've seen Woolley a few times in these Chatham-Harwich matchups.
Rankin Woolley, interesting case out here on Cape Cod. One of the few players who's actually from a community college, Chattahoochee Valley Community College. At LSU, then moved to Chattahoochee Valley Community College. Actually, next year he's transferring out to Auburn.
As the first pitch is in there, misses the zone for ball 1.
And Woolley had a lot of at-bats this past season at Chattahoochee Valley. He had a .460 batting average.
1-0 pitch is swung on and over towards the fence area as Lipsius goes charging in hard, but able to make the catch, and he almost went full speed into that fence.
.515 on base, an OPS, which is on base plus slugging. If you're over 1,000, that's outstanding. He's at 1282. Had 11 homers, added 93 RBIs to go along with it. This is a stat line that is out of this world.
So 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. 1 out, nobody on here at the top of the 9th. 8-3 Angers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Freeman comes set. The 1-1 to Woolley. Curveball swung on and laced out towards left center field. On his horses, Rivera and Gallen. He rolls all the way to the fence. Gallen picks it up, and Rankin Woolley stops over at second base. So a 1-out double for Woolley, and that was a rocket off the bat of Woolley.
Oh, great piece of contact off the bat of Rankin Woolley. Hit that ball probably 375 feet out to right center field. Split the gap between Gallen and Rivera. He finds himself on second base with 1 out.
So with 1 out now, it is Colin Simpson, the catcher, now in left field for the Anglers, and Tom Holliday doing a lot of moving around, maneuvering guys all over the field. Also helps him have guys that can play multiple positions as Colin Simpson can. So Woolley's off a second now. Simpson will step in from the left side, facing the right-hander Caleb Freeman. So 1 out here, 8-3 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Right-lefty matchup. The first pitch runs just a tad upstairs for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strike is the count. Freeman kicks and deals. Fastball runs off the plate on the outside corner for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch to Simpson. Pitch runs inside for ball 3, and the count heads to 3 balls and no strikes. So Simpson so far has 3 hits and a flyout. He has 2 singles, including RBI in his second one, and then a triple back in the 5th. He has scored in all 3 of those hits. So 3 runs on the evening, 1 RBI. 3-0 pitch. This is up in the zone for ball 4, and Simpson will take his base over at first, as now there'll be runners on first and second with 1 out. So looking ahead as the Mariners will to Wareham tomorrow to face the Wareham Gamemen, a team that they are 1-1 so far.
It's a team that does not have all the same players they started the year with, of course. Andrew Vaughn, most notably on Team USA. We talked about him earlier. He was the Golden Spikes Award winner for the best player in college baseball.
First pitch to Ashton McGee is, well, he's down towards the left side for strike one, and I believe he might be competing on the home run derby contest as well.
He was second in home runs with 23, led all of college baseball in OPS, on base plus slugging at 1350.
So a couple of those Pac-12 guys in the home run derby contest. A one pitch to McGee, misses off the plate outside for ball one. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
Torkelson, the freshman out of Arizona State, he led college baseball in home runs with 25. And then Andrew Vaughn from Cal was second with 23.
One pitch is swung on and lifted out in the air towards left field. Rivera going back to his right. He'll make the catch at the warning track and then back towards second as well. A nice route taken by the left fielder Rivera. The ball trickled back into the infield as it gets through a cutoff man Casals. So 2 outs now in the 9th inning, in the top half of the 9th inning. And in the home run derby contest this year is Torkelson, Nick Osborne from Orleans, Blake Sable from Chatham. And then the West Division is Todd Lott, Spencer Brickhouse, and Brian Packard. So there is Packard from Wareham, not Vaughn. So I thought it might have been him. But Brickhouse as well hit a home run against Harwich back in Bourne the first time around. And
Packard is a really good hitter as well. He hit over 400 this past season. Talk about the bats for the Wareham Gatemen.
They're one of the best offenses in the Cape League as their first pitch gets away.
I would say the best offense when fully healthy with everybody there. Of course, Steer went to Team USA along with Vaughn. And they also have Phillips, who was top 5 in college baseball with home runs. He had 19. And then, of course, I mentioned Brian Packard, who hit over 400 this past season. So again, player after player in that lineup, and it is really, really good from top to bottom.
Yeah, Packard out of East Carolina, teammates with Jake Agnos. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed by Fogel, as the first pitch was a ball that got to the screen, so advancing was both runners to second and third now with 2 outs. So 1-1 is the count on Fogel. Fogel, he walked and advanced on a pass ball his last time out. 1-1 pitch is cut on and missed by Fogel, as now Freeman's ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Freeman looking to get out of this jam here and not yield any more runs, and that's one thing. If the Mariners are trying now to come back in the bottom of the 9th, you don't want to be down any more than what you already are at 5, as the 1-2 pitch of Fogel cut on and missed, and Freeman strikes him out to end the top half of the 9th inning. So the Anglers leave 2 runners on scoring position, and after 8.5 heading to the bottom of the 9th, as the Anglers 8 and the Mariners 3, Mariners looking for 5 runs to tie, 6 to win. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside the White House field for the Latter half of the ninth inning, Mariners looking to try to tie things back up and even win this game, and they trail 5 runs. 8-3 lead for the Chatham Anglers, and the bat so far only 5 hits, so they'll need to add another 5 or more if they want to try to get back into things here. And it'll be Ben Norman, Brad Debo, Logan Driscoll facing off against McMillan. McMillan has made a nice comeback after his rough first inning.
The Harwich Mariners again trailing this game by 5 as they had a chance to get back in it in the bottom of the 7th inning. They only were able to score 1 run. Bases were loaded with no outs. McMillan then walked in a run. And then he proceeded to strike out the following 3 batters. If Mariners were able to put up a couple extra runs on the board, this could be a totally different game. Instead, they're down 8-3.
Slowing things off is the right fielder Ben Norman, who's 0 for 2 this evening with a walk. Digs in from the left side. First pitch is swung over towards the ground towards second base. Scooping up back over to first to Bush, and that is 1 away.
An important divisional matchup tonight, and the Mariners, unless they're able to put forth a big rally here, going to fall a couple points in the standings behind Chatham. And Chatham has started to do a really good job, especially as of late. They've been winning a lot of games.
So that's Fryman over at second base now. And Bush is over at first, and Woolley subs in the DH spot, so nothing going on there as the first pitch is fouled out of play by Brad Debo. And
why he wasn't playing so well, I could see the Anglers possibly catching them.
Yeah, the Anglers, as I mentioned before, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. Now maybe 5 of their last 6 as the 0-1 to Debo. Curveball is in there at the knees for strike 2. And that's a hot team in the Chatham Anglers right now. So we played them 4 times, we'll have to play them 2 more times.
Mariners would fall to 5 points behind the second place Anglers.
0-2 pitches foul back into the screen. The press box. Level count is 0-2 once more on the catcher Debo. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom 9th. 8-3 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Oh, 2 is ground up towards Fryman over towards second on the ground. He'll field it throw on the first sidearm throw is in time. So back-to-back groundouts over to the second baseman Fryman. There are quickly 2 outs here as the Mariners are down to their last out, and it's up to Logan Driscoll now to prolong this game.
And now McMillan has retired 8 of the last 9 Mariners batters. That's after allowing the first 4 batters he faced to reach base. But he has recovered really, really nicely. We talked about the mental side of baseball from the hitting perspective, that a lot of times players will go on hot streaks, they'll go on cold streaks. We saw it with Nate Eichhoff a number of times this season. He was sort of the extreme of this case, where he was really cold, then red hot, then he went cold again, and then now he's hitting the ball really well once more.
Baseball is a very strange game as the 1-0 pitch to Driscoll is blooped out towards above second base, and the shortstop Jones will squeeze and make the catch. So that'll do it here on the bottom of the 9th inning as the Chatham Anglers defeat the Harwich Mariners by a score of 8-3. And it was a long game as the Anglers struck first, and they struck early as well, and able to score runs in bunches. And Austin, what are your thoughts on today's game and the effort from the Harwich Mariners?
Well, they fell behind early after the first inning was scoreless. The Chatham Anglers put up 3 in the top of the second and added an additional 3 on in the top of the third. And at that point, the Mariners found themselves in a 6-0 hole. And it's really tough mentally to try to break out of that when you're down 6-0 in the top of the third inning. You have time to come back in the game, but it's going to be really difficult to overcome that deficit, and it was for the Harwich Mariners this evening. They got 1 back in the bottom of the third. A fielder's choice from Tanner Morris drove in a run, but it didn't stop there as the Chatham Anglers added a couple more runs in the top of the 5th, and the Mariners were down 8-1, and they battled back later in the game, but they just didn't get enough hits overall. It wasn't necessarily tonight the hits with runners in scoring position, although if they had gotten a couple of hits, a couple additional hits in the 7th, they maybe could have put themselves back into this game, but still, it was just overall hits. They had just 5 of them all night, and they scored 3 runs on those 5 hits. So it's not terrible in terms of the run count based on how many hits they had. They were able to get they were able to plate some runs when they had runners on base. It was just they didn't get a lot of runners on base to start with. Again, Manoa was outstanding. 6 innings, he allowed 3 hits. Mariners scored 2 runs in those 3 hits. He struck out 11, didn't walk a batter.
Yeah, I think again it was Manoa they ran to the Mariners batters ran to a brick wall. Again, the defense played exceptional. Again, now that's back. They had 1 error in yesterday's game, but they played mostly. That was not until the extra innings. So again, the defense has been there. We know it's kind of a trend over the couple games, and the Mariners putting a couple sloppy defensive games together, 2-3 runs or 2-3 errors, excuse me, that might have led to some runs. And the last couple games, the defense been there. The pitching's been there. Buckner kind of got roughed up a bit in the first couple innings, but the bullpen was there. Caleb Freeman did outstanding on the pen. Just the bats, only 5 hits tonight, and they didn't get a hit until the 3rd inning when they played their first run. But it's just a little bit too late. 6-1 after 3. It would have been tough for the Mariners to try to battle back, especially with a couple more runs being scored, but 2 more by Chatham. So they scored all their runs by the 5th inning, and the bats just couldn't quite catch up, especially with Manoa on the mound. And by the time when he's dealing like that through the first 1-2 times around, it's gonna be tough to really start to adjust to Manoa.
It was, and the Mariners, again, I think that we should talk about their bullpen because the bullpen for the Mariners was quite good tonight. They allowed 2 runs in the final 6 innings of tonight's contest. Beeline goes 4 innings. He allows 2 runs, but I think it's better than that. Coming in for relief after Ty Buckner ran into a lot of trouble in the first 3 innings of work, and he comes in and pitches 4 innings, only allows 2 runs, and was for the most part able to shut down these Anglers hitters. I found that really impressive from him. And then when you go to the go further into the bullpen with Freeman looked good, pitched 2 innings, didn't allow a single run. So I think, again, the bullpen was quite good tonight for the Harwich Mariners. It was just they fell behind by too much early on and were unable to recover.
Yeah, unable to recover, and that's unfortunate for the Mariners. So we'll try to bounce back tomorrow as they head to Wareham and will take on the Wareham Gatemen as they try to get back on the winning side of things. They now drop 2 in a row as they fall to the Chatham Anglers this evening by a score of 8-3. And so that'll do it from White House Field. From broadcasting partner Oscar Rooney, I'm Thomas Enzarella. We'll see you tomorrow. First pitch at 5:30. Pregame show starts at 5:15. We'll see you then.